We're back. It's Monday. It's the 2022 version of August the 29th. Another 3 points yesterday. Was it the performance you wanted, though? We're going to talk about that. Everyone's welcome. The link will be in the comments in a moment. We've got the player ratings. We've got the overall thoughts. We've got a lovely little eclectic panel, and everyone's welcome, like I said, to talk about how we're doing, getting ready for Wednesday. Is this the start that we wanted? Is it a little bit too reminiscent of Nuno? Are you worried that the performances will end up getting the results that we don't want, unless things change? 3 days left of the window. Ladies and gentlemen, there's news out as well in the transfer world. We're going to talk about your news, views, and transfer clues right now. The Spurs Talk Show is about to begin. Harry Kane, Lucas Moura, can you do something, please? Last chance, Matt Doherty!
Oh, you shite! There could be
from
the dead to the
don't fuck it up now, Go and win it!
Let's go
Last
for
chance! Stephen Bergwijn! Stephen Bergwijn's through! Win it, Stephen! Come on!
Yes! He's won it! He's won it! Oh my God! Oh my God! We did it!
Go check this out. Oh, wait a minute. It caught me off guard. Sorry about that. I thought I'd put the starting soon away. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Spurs Talk Show. If you are new here, then welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. I'm immediately looking clammy. It's the light, I swear, and it's my general unhealthiness. Hope everyone is doing just fine. Before we get to say hello to the people in the comments, there's 35 of you that are just starting out. If you don't mind, just smash that like button just to get the old algorithm working immediately as the live stream gets going so that it gets shown to more people. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the subscribe button as well if you are new here. Welcome. Let's see who is in the background. Introducing first, talking. He's coming all the way from Whiskeyville. You know him as Adam William Cahill's Hojbjerg fiend, his feisty little partner. They go back and forth about whether or not Hojbjerg is good or bad. And after yesterday's performance, I think that argument, at least for now, has been settled. Please welcome to the show, my man Soren. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Shawnee?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. The performance from Hojbjerg was good. Adam can't make it. Surprise.
Surprise. I was going to text him, but he won't give me his number.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be here because he knows that No, he's busy. He's super busy, but he can be around for a Hojbjerg masterclass review. How you doing? You good?
Better after 3 points yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep, doing well. Busy, but make time for this. Always time to talk Tottenham.
I appreciate that, my man. Welcome to the show, brand new guy. Haven't had the privilege of streaming with him just yet. I met him via the Never a Foul podcast. His name is Alan R. Clark. His Twitter handle is Alan R. Clark 3, I think. And he's got a brand new Tottenham channel as well. I think he's also from the Football Terrace, so he gets around quite a lot, gets into the high parts of Tottenham society. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Alan R. Clark. How are you, buddy?
I'm very well. Thank you for the introduction and thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I'm sure we're going to get into everything Spurs from the weekend. Good points and bad points, but yeah, should be good.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you, mate. I think Ellie was in the background as well. Ellie, if you're watching, if you're coming back on, there's a space open for you. I am going to stick the link up as we get through the game, as we get through the show, guys. Let me just spend a couple of minutes welcoming in some people from the comments. Lynch616 is in the house. What's happening, Lynchy? He says, afternoon, Sean. That was a hard watch for me yesterday, my friend. It was hard because I wasn't streaming. Is that why? Or just generally because the game was tough? I was sick. I did watch the game. I don't know, Lynchy. We're going to talk about this. I think that the general feedback, I'm really sweaty. I don't know why. I think this is my illness. Whatever it is, it's coming out up here in sweaty and spots and nasty things. Lynchy, I think that the performance wasn't as bad as a lot of people were saying. I think that we should give credit where credit's due to a Nottingham Forest team who played really well. But we are going to talk about that, my man. Cooper from Alabama. What's happening, my Alabama slammer? He says, Sean, we missed you yesterday. We were forced to listen to the Premier League commentary. Hope you're having a good Monday. I am, man. I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday. I was, you know what, though, Coops? It was one of those days where when you're doing the live stream watch-alongs and you're watching the game and you're trying to commentate and you're trying to like involve the guys in the panel and you're trying to get the comments up, it's difficult sometimes to like absorb everything that's going on in the game in the moment. And I think yesterday I had a really good chance to watch the game without worrying about all that stuff. So it was actually quite refreshing. Ilias is in the house as well. Let's talk about Dan James for Tottenham. We are going to talk about that. We might actually start with that because it is quite fresh news. And I've got some talk about that. So we will talk about that, Ilias. I don't know if it's the name everyone wants to hear. I can already see, but I can already feel the Levy out. Those knives, clink, 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 sharpening under the desk as they have been all week. We've got a Levy out guy in Alan on the show today, so we're going to get some decent different opinions. It's going to be fun. Mick Hermluck in the house. What's happening, Mickey boy? Lynchy's in the house. We sort of said hello to Lynchy already. Moon Dog's in the house. Good afternoon, Sean. I'm glad you're feeling better. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Chris Agomba's in the house as well. What's happening, Chris? Good to see you. Big Boss Man's in the house. What's happening, Big Boss Man? I heard you went on to Tottenham away yesterday to have a tete-a-tete with one of the guys over there. I haven't seen it, but I'm definitely going to go and check that out, see how you did. On your bike, Scott. What's happening, my man? My number one member. Big up, Sean. How you feeling, mate? I'm feeling a bit better, mate. I'm feeling a bit better. Thanks for your kind, caring words. Chris is in the house. What's happening, Chrissy? Boy, good to see you, man. I'd like you to come on today, my man. I'm going to put the link up. I want you to come on and say hello. Bill's in the house. Elite managers don't buy Dan James. And we begin. What's happening, Bill? Good to see you. Sean, Sons of Mix in the house as well. Greetings from Dublin, Ireland. I'm thinking of sending Doreen Adams. I think they're saying Doreen Adams' number. I'm not sure I get that one.
I think he means Soren. I think he's trying to say me into.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. 100%. That makes sense now. Who else have I got here? Who else have I got here? Let's have a look. Nick Knack's in the house. What's happening, Nick Knack? Dan James to Spurs. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. Mark Mabbott Cousins in the house. Big up Sean on panel. Another win. Come on, you Spurs. Bod Spurs in the house. Big up you beautifully average-looking people. Another.
I'll take that.
Big up my man Bobby. Come on, bro. I'm going to put the link up in a split second. And we've got Roman numerals saying salutations, my man, to you as well. Let me bring in the fourth part of the team. She's coming from Tottenham Hotspur, THFC till I die. And she'll be here until her internet dies temporarily.
About 5 minutes then.
Yay!
What's happening, Queen? How you doing?
I'm all right. My internet's okay. It's just my battery that's dying lately.
Oh, okay.
You shouldn't use it so much, Ellie.
Just to defend
defend
myself. Yeah. It's because I'm on my iPhone, you see. I've got a new iPad, so I'm going to be on the iPad soon. I've got to just set it all up. Anyway, we're here to talk Spurs, not about me ghosting.
Yeah. Oh, your screen frozen again. All right.
I'm frozen.
No, you're okay. You're back.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I want to start with let's get the transfer news stuff out of the way for a second. Let me get this up. Have I got this thing set up yet? I don't think I have. My slide. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Google Slides.
Okay. 1, 2.
I'm there. I'm done. It's just opening up now. The first bit of news, obviously. Yeah.
No, just reading Bob's comment. Ellie uses up her batteries. Yeah.
No, you can't be doing that, mate. Right, here we go. Is it going to open up for me? I need to get right to the end. I need to get right to the very end. We'll go through all this stuff in a minute. But where are we? Here we go. First and foremost, right? So Gennaro Gattuso has now divulged that Spurs have informed Valencia that they are looking to sign a replacement for the 21-year-old. This is about Bryan Gil. So the deal is 99% done to take Bryan Gil to Valencia. But Gattuso is saying that he's going to be waiting for a couple more days because Tottenham are desperate to get a replacement in. Right. So we know Bryan Gil is in all likelihood going out. The question is, who is the replacement? First bit of news out today is actually I think it's from a couple of days ago, is Mr. Ruslan Malinovsky. We shouldn't rule that one out according to Fabrizio Romano. He dreams of Tottenham. He would love to join. The noise out of the Tottenham's camp is that he's a little bit slightly more expensive than Tottenham wanted to pay for a winger that is in all likelihood going to play backup, 5th or 6th choice. But then the noise has come out right now this morning is that Tottenham have discussed. Fabrizio Romano says Spurs and Everton both want the same quote-unquote brilliant player before Thursday. They're after Dan James from Leeds with his potential loan with a buy option for Daniel James with Leeds last week. Not an easy deal. Let's presume that it's because this is more fresh. Let's presume that Dan James is the more recent and therefore more relevant transfer news. If it's coming from Fabrizio Romano, he's a tap-in merchant. There must be something to it. I'll start with you, Soren. Look, first of all, are you happy for Bryan Gil to go out? And second of all, if you are, is Dan James an improvement on him? And is he good enough to satisfy your needs for a 5th or 6th choice forward?
I think you kind of look at Gil and you think it would be nice to see him stay in the Premiership. If we're not going to sell him, then get him either into England or into Germany, and let's see how he goes with the style of football that we're used to playing, a little bit more rough and tumble rather than the sort of nice, not easy going sort of Spanish league. But it's not the same type of football. Am I happy to see him going out? Yeah, maybe not to where he's going. Would I like to see him stay? Yes, because I'd like to see whether he can cut it with us. Dan James, look, he's a young lad. He's got some Premiership experience. Is he the player that I'd love? He's not the first choice, is it? I don't think anybody's going to say he's our first choice.
Definitely not. Yeah.
If he comes in, it's another player. You kind of look at, you feel a little bit disappointed, a little bit underwhelmed. But at the end of the day, if he becomes a Tottenham player, then I'll back him, Until then, it's a type thing.
And before I come down to Alan, what does it tell you about the, like I say, we're all speculating. Let's presume that there's some truth to it. Let's presume that there's some excitement on behalf of either Conte or Paratici, because it's a loan deal, right? So it's not going to be one that Daniel Levy's pushing for, because it's, unless it's an obligation to buy.
It looks like a Paratici type thing, doesn't it?
So then, is it? Is this? I don't know how to interpret it. Is it a testament that to the window that that there's different priorities amongst the Tottenham hierarchy than there is amongst the fans, or is it just a case of we're not going to play these? He's not going to play very much. So why go out and spend a lot of money on a player that's not going to play?
I do think it's one of those where he's obviously not first choice, and that's why it's an option. I think part of the reason it's a loan with. I thought I'd read somewhere there's an option to buy if we do go down with it, but
there's an option to buy, but there's not an obligation to buy.
we go back to the argument that's been going over the last few weeks about the money. I don't think the money is there to be spent. Not that we haven't got money. I just don't think the money's there to be spent. They're not prepared to spend this money. And if we're just sending players out on loan, then we're not going to keep buying more, because then when it comes to next summer, we've got even more players to deal with. So, until we've sold players, I don't think we're going to be buying players. That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I generally feel the same, and I've got a few, I want to call out some numbers here, because I think that it's a lot of the problem with the window might just be that there was so much to do in so little time. 2.5 months, a short window because of the World Cup, and the amount of players that we've actually either moved in or moved out of the club in whatever format. There's just not enough time to do as much as we probably wanted. Alan, I'll come to you, my man. What's your take? And obviously, just to set the ground to everyone in the comments, Alan he's supposed to be backstage. I didn't know what his take was on leaving everything. He's generally Levy out. I can see there's a lot of people in the comments that are Levy out already. So it's okay. Well, we're all good. It's all just opinions. Alan, what's your take on? Well, actually, I'll let you go with the Dan James thing first, but at the same time, if you can, incorporate your general thoughts on the window so far, and go wherever you want with it.
So the Dan James thing for me is a couple of points to it. For me, is to fill the homegrown quota as well as anything on the cheaper option. So Winks is now going out to Sampdoria. So for me, that's just a tick in the box. It doesn't set the world alight for Spurs fans. Quite honest, I put him in similar categories to what you put Traore, St Maximin, in the fact that you've got ability but not much end product. Yeah. Which isn't going to help push the team. Let's take the situation with Sonny not performing in the first 4 games. I think quite a few Spurs fans would say Richarlison should start because of the energy and everything he's putting in, and it isn't happening.
Do you feel that way?
Coming when he's just going to sit on the bench and just not get a chance, or probably a couple of minutes here and there. It doesn't make sense. So for me, it's just for homegrown, and it's just obviously just to fill the squad for maybe a League Cup appearance. So it's more of a board signing, and I think a Conte signing, in my honest opinion. I saw a comment saying about him being a wing back. He can't defend Dan James, so I don't think he'll be a wing back. I think it's just, like I said, to fill the squad. But yeah, in regards to the transfer window as well, I think it's been generally decent. Obviously, the main target was Bastoni or a good left centre back. Hasn't happened. I think that's why we got Lenglet in to cover that until next season. Yeah. Lenglet's good at playing out from the back, but his defending is questionable. That's why I think we haven't seen him much. I think he's being put in slowly. For me, I think Richarlison was a good buy, but not for the money. I think we overspent on that. You can see by him coming in, he's done really well coming on sub appearances, loads of energy. Actually causing teams problems when he comes on. We haven't had a backup striker like that on the bench since I can't recall when. So for me, that was a good signing. Basuma was an absolute steal. I think that was a really good signing for the team. Why he's not playing. For me, Hojbjerg does a really good job defensively. That's why Conte likes him. But in other areas, he's lacking, in which we can't transition forward quickly enough. That's why we are slow playing forward. Perisic for me was probably our best signing of the window. You can just see the difference as a ball playing left wing back who can put decent crosses in and cause problems. Now we're a bit one sided because we still haven't had that on the right wing back. Yeah. I'd like to see Spence play. I think he's a good youngster, but Conte, by the look of it, doesn't want him yet. Yeah. So it's not a perfect window, but it's business done early to be able to have the team gel before the start of the season. So although we're not playing well at the moment, we're getting results. So for me, it's a decent start window result wise. Good. It's a good transfer window, and hopefully the team can just develop and grow together, and we'll kick on against West Ham.
Yeah, love it, mate. Love it. I actually agree with everything you just said. Yeah, I think that the window's been great but not exciting, and but yeah, and I think you're right about the homegrown thing as well with Dan James. And there's no point. I agree. Thus far we haven't seen Richarlison at 60 million quid be offered any meaningful minutes. When he's played really well. Sonny hasn't. And there's still a reservation or a reluctance, Ellie, to bring in Richarlison. I don't know. We can talk about that. I'm sure we will talk about that. What are your thoughts on Dan James, though, generally, Ellie? Is he a player that you like? I always thought when Dan James played against Tottenham for Leeds last season, I thought he was one of the bright sparks in a Leeds team. But
yeah, he scored against us, but I don't know. It underwhelms me because if it's just to fill the quota, there's lots of better players out there to fill the quota. In terms of what we need, it's not really something we need. I think we need a centre back more and another right wing back and a cam. Somebody who can take the ball forward. I disagree with a little bit about Alan saying about Hojbjerg, because if you look at his stats, Alan, his forward passing his progressive passing, is just up there with the very best in the Premiership. So, and yesterday he was fabulous. He played a really good ball through to Kane, split the defence, and Kane didn't score. So that would have been an assist. So I just think it's a bit underwhelming, a bit like the transfer window in certain areas. In other areas, I like it because we've got Basuma to come in, either for Bentancur or Hojbjerg, whoever Conte decides is not pulling his weight, because they're both similar players anyway. I think Bentancur's got a little bit more grace on the ball, I must admit. But Richarlison's been a revelation since he's come on. I love him because I love the way he gets at the players. And yesterday when he got one in the nether regions, he sort of fell down and he reacted about 10 minutes late.
Yeah, but sometimes it takes a bit of time for your brain to figure out how bad that's going to be, you know?
Yeah. And he gets in the opposition's hair, doesn't he, Shawnee? And that ball that he played to Kane was sublime because Cesc messed it up and then he picked it up and it was fantastic. It type off the back of the foot, wasn't it? On the side of the foot, sorry.
It wasn't just the outside of the boot cross that was delicious. It was the shoulder barge that led to him recycling the ball in the first place. When he ran over and smashed that guy, I forget who it was, the right back for Forest, and just shoved him out the way, and then took the ball and then delivered that cross. I thought was exceptional.
Yeah,
I
just like the way Richarlison is.
Yeah. Just a quick reply to also add on to Ellie's and to answer Scott's question there.
Where's Scott's question? This one?
Yeah. Go back and have a look who started the move for the first goal with a great forward pass.
Yeah. I mean, and what he does off the ball is fabulous.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's one of these, it's the same as we say week after week after week. Once people have got it in for Hojbjerg, they just can't see any difference. And he's had a solid start to the season. He hasn't had a really, really bad game yet. No worse than any of the rest of the team, put it that way. But, you know, I mean, people keep pulling him out, and he was one of our better players going forward yesterday.
They can come to Queen Ellie Hojbjerg's education camp. I'll educate them.
According to, let me see if I can get my screen up. According to,
you guys are saying, but for every, don't get me wrong, he had a good game yesterday. I'm not saying he doesn't, but for every good game he has, he also has a bad game too. And in recent games, like yesterday and the game against Wolves and all that, he done good work, but then he would pass the ball straight out of play because he couldn't find simple passes where he just passed the ball straight out. So he has his same with the most team, but he does a job and he does what Conte wants him to do. That's why he's in the team. But I think you can, if we want to improve the team, I think there's areas like him, that you can improve on the team. Obviously, the right wing back you can improve on the team to help push this team forward. So it's not that I've got an agenda against Hojbjerg. I just think you can improve in that area as like the right wing back area.
Yeah. I don't think you've got an agenda. There's certain things that he does.
Not you specifically, Adam.
Yeah.
No, not you specifically. There's other people that come on the show that Soren, Adam William Clark and Soren go back and forth all the time, and because Adam's reluctant to give any kind of credit to Hojbjerg.
I just think that when you watch it, I mean, it's like yesterday. We know Bentancur, it can be silky smooth on the ball. But if you watch, Bentancur actually did far more back passes than Hojbjerg did.
Yes.
When you start watching these players and watching them for what people are saying Hojbjerg does wrong, and then you watch the others, it's quite amazing how many people watch it with, tinted glasses on and can't see the other players are doing for what he's doing. He did a lot of good yesterday. And we're getting further. I mean, I think you look at it, there was a lot of slating for when he got into the box and had that shot into the side netting. Well, he was in the box. If that had been one of our strikers having a shot like that, he was. All you'd say is he was in the box. At least he was
made
in the right
it.
place. Well, you know, Hojbjerg's not the player we want in that, but he was there, and you know, we got a chance with him. So
I personally think that like Hojbjerg, yes. Just the reason I brought this up, according to SofaScore, right now, SofaScore obviously their stats are massaged through algorithms in a certain way that kind of elevate people that have shots on target, elevate people that do specific things, and it doesn't necessarily look. It's probably quite complicated to look too far back to see how much involvement and impact they had in build-up play, those sorts of things. But for what it's worth, it's just a stat that I'm just going to call out. Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg has got the number one spot in terms of average. It's only 4 games, but this season average so far in terms of, according to their algorithm, in terms of average ranking. We are going to talk about the actual players in a second. But what I want to just reflect on is with the Sonny issue, right? My current opinion, and it's something that is quite malleable. I'm happy to be open-minded to being told that this is a silly opinion to have. So please feel free. But I think that I'm really worried about Sonny's sensitivity. I don't think he's ever had anyone breathing down his neck. And I think that maybe the form that he's going through right now, and I'll come to Alan on this one first, I feel like it's in no small part because he's a little bit threatened by the fact that there's somebody coming on. Even last season when Bergwijn deserved more minutes than Lucas Moura, because of the front three had, in my opinion, certain amounts of brownie points or wins in the locker saved up, you always saw Kulusevski get taken off first, whether that was in the 75th or 80th minute for Lucas Moura. And then at best, Sonny would get dropped in the 88th minute and Bergwijn would be given just injury time to do whatever he did. And Kane obviously never really came off. And this season, that rotation has flipped where Kulusevski gets to stay on until the 88th minute and Son gets hooked. And I don't know if it's affecting him, the threat of someone breathing down his neck. And what I want to see, I think it's going to be a very difficult challenge for Conte to manage somebody who is so important to Tottenham's present and future ambitions, who hasn't had this threat to his place before, either at international level or at club level. I'd like to see him embrace the competition for places like Hojbjerg has. Because I think Hojbjerg, at the start of the season, I think most people, apart from you maybe Ellie, but most people that are, that don't necessarily love a certain player or hate a certain player would have thought that the eventual starting midfield pairing would be Bentancur and Bissouma. Yeah. And I think Hojbjerg's probably aware of that and has said, fuck that, I'm going to have to up my game. And I think he really has taken on. I think he's embraced the competition for places and he's elevated his game in the first 4 games of the season to a very high level because he's worried about losing his place. And I think that shows the sort of mentality and the mindset that he has. And I wish that Sonny could embrace the same threat in the same manner. And I don't know if that makes sense to you, Alan, or whether it's something you agree with or disagree with. What are your thoughts?
So for me, behind the scenes, since Richarlison's come in, him and Son get on really great. So I think that, the bonding quickly is a good friendship there. So for me, I think Son's a victim of his own success. So he elevated himself, last season better than he ever had. And he set his standards so high. So whether it be that he hasn't had a good preseason stuff like that, he's not hit those same standards. So for me, in coming down as far as he has, now there's a question because obviously Kane's come on strong. Kane started well compared to last season with the whole Man City thing. So he's playing well. Kulusevski's carried on. And Son, for me, I think because he had reached such a high level, the biggest he has under Spurs last season, hasn't quite lived up to that. And I think it's more noticeable because of that. So I think basically, bringing in Richarlison for a game or two might give Sonny the nudge to be like, okay, now I can be. Because until now, he's not known the challenge. So I think if bringing in Richarlison for a game or two might give him that nudge to be like, I've got to play now. Because even the first game, you saw before, although we beat Southampton 4-1, even that game, he wasn't great. Yeah. He was holding to the ball for too long, not passing. His shots were really poor, straight at the keeper, no power. So I don't think it's because the first game there was no threat, because obviously Richarlison's not in quantity. So for me, I think it's just his bar is so high and created by himself, and I think he's just not hitting that same level at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
A lot more noticeable. So for me, put Richarlison in for a game. I think that'll give Son a wake-up call, and I think he'll kick on from there. I think it's just the wake-up call that's needed for him at the moment.
And Ellie, do you think there's a risk in doing that? If you agree with Alan's take, do you think there's a risk though that you're seeing how he's very? I haven't seen Sonny smile in 4 games. Like he's not. Like he usually smiles 100 times a game, right? But I haven't seen. He's looking very frustrated. He's looking a little bit worn out. A lot of people are saying he looks leggy as well. I'm not sure if I agree with that bit because I think he came into his own in the second half. I think he had a lot more chances. I think he was a lot better in the second half yesterday than he was in the first half. But are you worried that maybe he hasn't got the strength of character? It's such a horrible thing to say or harsh thing to say against someone who's made it to the very top of the world's toughest sporting paradigm. But I feel like maybe his confidence has taken a hit and I'm not sure if he's figured out how to embrace it yet. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just feel he's just had a bad start to the season in his heights are so high, and when he scores, he's so happy, and when he assists, he's so happy, and he loves to contribute. He's a Spurs man through and through, Sonny. He loves our club. So for him, it hits harder than most of the other players, I would say. And when I saw him on the bench and Sky Sports flashed on him, I felt so sorry for him because you could see it was angry, more wasn't he? Yeah, it was anger and it was frustration. It was frustration because he knows he can do better. And to be substituted as well, he's thinking, well, if I don't back up my ideas, this is what I think's going through his mind. Like you said, Shawnee, that I could be replaced. And I don't want to be replaced because this is my club. I've played for them for 7 years. And I've had such a fantastic rapport with Harry Kane. And what I've noticed, Sean and...
Oh, this is the first of many. Is she back? You back, Ellie? No. If she comes back, we'll get back to... Sorry, just quickly before we move on then, we're actually going to start the... Oh, she's here. She's back.
Yeah, I'm back with you. Yeah, what I've noticed is that his link up with Kane, it's gone a bit sour. It started from that game when Sonny didn't pass to Kane and Kane was furious with him.
Yeah.
And because he's got such a sensitive nature.
He didn't celebrate yesterday when Kane scored. He didn't celebrate either.
No, I noticed that as well. And I was thinking, he's such a sensitive lad. Somebody needs, like Conte, he can put his arm around him and say, come on, Sonny, you can do it. He just needs that kick up the arse to say to him, come on, get your act together and start scoring and start assisting because that's what he's good at.
100%.
I think people are getting a little bit carried away with it all. If we go back to the beginning of last season, I know it was a different circumstance, but Kane didn't do anything for 2 months. We're 4 games into it. Sonny is getting marked more and more now. If you watch it, there's always 1 or 2 players around him now, which is allowing Kane a little bit more room. They're all going to go through a bad spell at some point. The whole team isn't playing great, but yet we're concentrating on somebody like Sonny who he just needs to be given a break. He's still contributing. If you watch, he's not contributing in the same way. And like Ellie's just said, that rapport between him and Kane just doesn't seem to be quite right at the moment. But he'll come back. There's no worry with Sonny. He'll be back.
Sonny.
Yeah.
I want to come back to the Sonny thing in a second because I've got a little theory and I want to show you guys some stats and get your opinions on it. Guys in the comments, I am going to be putting the StreamYard link in a little bit later on in the stream. If anyone wants to come on and join when we go through the player ratings and talk about the game. We haven't even actually spoken about the game that much yet. We're going to do that in a little while. But I just want to get to a super chat first from TimMan007. Big up, Tim Man. I really appreciate the support of the channel, my man. It's super nice of you. He says, the only difference in this window from others is that we have signed players early. Bit underwhelming for a team that's qualified for the Champions League. Need to show more ambition. Soren, I'll let you answer this one, my man. What do you want to say to Tim Man? Do you agree?
It's getting really weird with this because I'm kind of asked me a few days ago and I was starting to think, this window's actually looking quite underwhelming. I'm a little bit disappointed we're not getting these stars in and things like this. And then you actually start looking at the window and the players we've got and listening to what's being said. And I know they don't always come out and maybe say exactly what they're thinking, but I don't think we've got as bad a team as people are saying. I think we are stronger than last year. We're unbeaten. Yeah. You know, we're picking up points, and we're picking up points in games that we don't expect to lose. But as Spurs fans, we expect to lose because we should be winning them, which we are winning them now. We've only dropped points against Chelsea. So
and this is essentially the same team. Like, I know that we signed these 6 or 7 players. Obviously, one of them is always going to be a sub goalie, or most of the time. Another one, Udogie, is he's not going to be around. But the other 5 players, they haven't really had that many minutes yet for a variety of reasons, right? Either it's because they're not physically fit, they're injured, they're not tactically up to speed yet, which is what I think what was given the reason given to for Bissouma, or because of rotation problems that haven't really been implemented yet. But the same 11 that we had last season with a weak bench was the second or third best team in terms of getting points for all of 2022. Since Kulusevski and Bentancur came in, Tottenham went to like a second or third best team in the league. So people were complaining about the quality of that team, but it's still second or third best in the...
I'm sure I read somewhere yesterday or today that if you take it from the moment Conte came in, we've had more points than any other team.
Except Manchester City.
I can't remember. I thought it said any other team.
Any other team, really? Wow.
I'm sure it said something like, like I said, I could be mistaken, but if you listen to what Conte is saying and then what Kane said after the match, and virtually all professional type people within the sport, they're all saying how strong our team is. Well, it's only the fans that are being negative to what, if we all know how Scott is with our players. Not one of them is good enough to play for Tottenham, but if you actually go down and break it down as a team, maybe not individually, but as a team, we are quite strong. We look at that bench now, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, you could bring so and so on, you could bring so and so on, you could bring them on. Whereas last year it was like, who the hell are we going to bring on? So we are stronger, we are better than last year, and if we finished 4th last year, hopefully
we can improve.
We could improve.
Yeah, Alan, do you subscribe to that notion? I mean, people like Ben Davies, they're never going to excite anybody. When you see the name, it's never going to be like, wow, we've got a worldie on our pitch. Or Davinson Sanchez, for example, who's doing I think anyone is like, I'm one of me and Dave from the Irish Hotspur bet very close mates, and he absolutely can't stand Davinson Sanchez. I think he has a very harsh take on Sanchez. I think he comes in, he hasn't conceded a goal in 9 hours now. But generally speaking, Alan, do you think that we're guilty as fans of looking at the team and being underwhelmed and not really appreciating that there's more to a game of football, more to performances than just individual skill sets? It's the chemistry, it's the kind of fluid dynamics that familiarity can bring, and that Tottenham actually are outperforming or doing very well with what we have. Oh, you're on mute, mate. I think you're on mute.
Sorry, for me, it's a number of things in regards to the chemistry. I think the chemistry has to be there. There are players that Conte has elevated since he's come in. Ben Davies being one, Dyer's being a second. I think he's even elevated Hojbjerg more than what he had done. But in regards to the stat that Søren pointed out, second or third best team. But for me, you've got Champions League football now. You want to bring in people to push you to be like second or first best team. We have to keep moving forward as a club. Otherwise, we saw under Poch when the team you kept the same players season in, season out, the team starts to regress. And by the time Poch wanted money to do a rebuild, he wasn't given to it. And obviously that's where it ended. So we need to keep moving forward as a club. Alex Ferguson done it best every single time. Even people at their peak, he was like, no, you're not going to fit what I want to do now. 2 or 3 people new in, like high quality players, and that's how they stayed at the top for so long. We seem to, as a club, get to a point where we keep the same people and we won't sell. So that's why we have trouble getting them out, Harry Winks, like Kieran Dembele. I think we need to be a bit more cutthroat in the transfer market in regards to we need to move people on quicker and bring better quality in to continue competing. Otherwise, I don't want to see in 2 or 3 seasons Conte gone and us fighting for 7th and 6th again. So I can understand why they're saying Champions League is a bit underwhelming, but in the same breath, we have added to the squad because the first 11 was good last season and improved under Conte. So we're adding to the squad now. And then I think next season was where you see like a Bastoni or a really top quality centre back come in to elevate the defence. You can't get every first pick in a transfer window every single time. So some bits take time, but for me, I can understand that comment.
Yeah, I love it. Really reasonable take as well. And from Moondog, thank you so much for that, Tim, man. I hope that answers your question, my man. I'm going to come to Ellie on this one. Moondog says, I have no worry about Son. He needs to start Wednesday. I am going to, this is a good transition, Ellie. I'm going to let you answer this, and then I want to show you a little thing that I've noticed within the kind of the hot spots of where players are playing, and it might give some light onto why Sonny might be struggling. But what are your thoughts? Do you want Sonny to start on Wednesday?
Yeah, I do want him to start on Wednesday because he deserves it. He's been a fantastic, loyal servant to our club, and it doesn't take 4 matches for him to play not to his standards, for him to be dropped. If it goes on a little bit longer, like say 10 or 20, 15 matches, for example, you would expect him to be dropped, but not after 4. They did the same for Kane. They stuck by Kane when he was having he had a worse patch than Sonny, in fact.
Yeah, Kane was awful in the first half of last season,
Yeah, and another thing, Sonny always scores against West Ham. So I'm looking forward to a screamer. Yeah, I mean, at Wembley, that screamer that he did, and last year he scored he done a brace last year against them. So
he almost
I'm looking forward to him.
He almost got a screamer yesterday, right? And then everything, all the noise goes away when the ball fell to Ben Davies, and Ben Davies does the pot shot or the kind of semi like over his knee shot, and it falls to Sonny, and he takes it first time, and it just whips over the bar. If that's a foot lower, top locker, nothing to worry about with Sonny, is there?
Yeah.
You know, that's the margins, I guess.
And the thing is, he's probably just trying too hard. That's all that's wrong. The longer it goes for him, the harder he's going to try, and the harder he tries, the worse it'll seem. Yeah,
100%. Thanks for the super chat, Moondog. I appreciate you, my man. Absolute legend, as always. I just want to quickly, guys, welcome Alex to the show. How you doing, Alex? You okay, my man?
This is going to be a very quick appearance.
Okay.
A very, very quick appearance because I wanted to get my 2 pence pieces in because, again, the gift that keeps on giving Tottenham fans, honestly, Mr. Box Office has to tell some truths again to some of these people that I was just clutching at straws. The people that say that Hojbjerg is a fantastic player. Okay. And then people that say that Emerson had a really good game. I need to
Ellie,
say...
Ellie, can you turn your phone...
Wan-Bissaka. I just see Wan-Bissaka, and that's all I need to say. And then that ends that debate straight away, as far as I'm concerned. And then the whole debate, and I was hearing on Will's channel as well. Oh my gosh, some people play too much FIFA. Honestly, it's absolutely embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. I don't know what's more embarrassing: us cheering about our Champions League group, thinking we've won the trophy already, or the debate about Richarlison's so fantastic when he's just done a cameo for 5 minutes and he only done one little cross, and then he's trying to showboat again. Reality check. I mean, the only reason why people are going on about this guy, the only reason why they're going on about this guy, the same people that are going on about Bentancur, is because we didn't have somebody that is actually a striker that had Premier League quality, and that's it. That's the only reason. And the same reason we're saying that Bentancur's a fantastic player. The reason why people are going on about Bentancur because we had Harry Winks. There's levels to this conversation.
Yeah, of course. Everything's relative.
Absolutely levels to this conversation. So this is the thing. And that was an awful performance. Like, I'm sorry, but yes, it was a good goal. Good goal. Yeah, really good goal. But then what happened? We retracted 2 meters away from us. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. This is like...
All right, I just want to take a little bit... Go back to the Sunny conversation. I don't know how long you're going to stay with us for, Alex. You're more than welcome to stay as long as you want. But... here's what I want to. Here's something I wanted to kind of to show you guys. Well, let me get rid of that comment for a second. That banner, 1 sec. Right. So if we look at, let's start by looking at Emerson Royale. Where are you, Emerson Royale? You are here. You are right. I want to show you his over his 4 matches. Right. He has been he's been up and down the pitch, but the basic framework, if you look at every individual match, apart from against Southampton, in the first game of the season, he was up here. But against all the other three, he has largely spent the vast majority of his time on an individual game-by-game basis. The heat maps are always down in the bottom left, on the bottom right-hand side. Oh, where are you going? If you compare that to, I'm not even going to compare. What's going on here? I'm not even going to compare that yet to Sessegnon or to Perisic. Just keep an eye. Remember where Emerson Royal is. Davinson Sanchez, right, holds himself in the last two games very much down in the bottom right-hand side. Compare that to, and just to have a quick look at Christian Romero, even though he's only played last time. Again, the vast majority of the time, he is playing further back in on the right-hand side, not as an advanced right wing back, a right-sided centre back, but as a deep lying right-sided centre back. Compare that to Ben Davies. Where are you, Benjamin? Where are you? There you are. Ben Davies spent the first game against Southampton down here. The last three games, he has been entirely up here. Against Wolves, this was his spot. Wolves, he was up here on the right, almost playing as a left winger. Right, compare that to Davinson Sanchez and Christian Romero when he spends most of his time up here, and the other two spend most of their time down there. Compare that to where's my man Perisic, who's all over the place. But if you want to pick out a specific area, he's right up here where Sonny should be. Compare that to Ryan Sessegnon, who also is playing further up. I'm wondering whether or not the problem with Sonny and the reason why Tottenham think that Emerson Royal doesn't get forward enough. Now, I don't know whether this is the tail wagging the dog or the dog wagging the tail. I don't know whether this is a directive that Conte knows that Emerson can't get forward, or when he does, he doesn't get forward and do very much, and therefore is asking him to sit back, or Romero and Sanchez to sit back and support. But to me, it almost looks like it's not a traditional 3-4-3 with the wingers both giving the license to move forward. It looks to me as though it's a distorted 3-4-3 where we are pushing our left-hand players, including Ben Davies, especially Ben Davies, far further up the field. And if Ben Davies is spending most of his time inside the opposition half, that therefore naturally means that you have to have Eric Dyer that will be pulled across here, that you have to have whoever the right-sided centre-back, whether it's Sanchez or Sanchez or Romero, that also has to come back in and support, and that naturally Emerson will have to come back. Now, I think it's a distorted left-sided forward play, or left-sided attack, where we're putting most of our balls down there, and in so doing, you've got three players. You've got Ben Davies that sat right here, you have Perisic that is sat right here, and Sonny, I don't think he is best utilised when he is being crowded out by two players that are sat around him. Sonny has always been a player that is better when he's got space to run into, when he tries to come in the middle, right? When he tries to make those long darting races and using his pace to get ahead. I don't think that that's a solution that's going to suit Sonny. And so I think partly think, oh, sorry, I didn't realise Ellie's in the back. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
no problem.
I don't think that the tactics, I don't think it's necessarily, and this is just my speculation, I don't think it's necessarily that Sonny is playing badly as an individual thing. I think that the tactics of pushing the ball down the left and throwing it that way, because Emerson Royal isn't as good going forward on the right, is naturally taking away Sonny from the position and the abilities that he excels at, and allowing him less time on the ball, because there's naturally going to be more defensive opposition over that in the same side. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll come to you first on this one, Soren. Does it make any sense, mate?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is, like you say, when we look at what we're doing, Sonny was far better last year when we were playing more counter-attacking football. He had the pace. He would run past all coming through to him from Kane or whoever, and he looks stronger. He doesn't quite look as strong when we're pushing further up the pitch. To me, he relies on his pace. But yeah, I mean, to answer a couple of other things in there, I'm not sure that anybody so far has said Emerson had a good game on Sunday. But when you look at them stats, he's doing what he does best, which is defending rather than attacking. Most of the attacking that we're doing down the right-hand side is coming through Kulu. So, to me, Conte is doing what we pay him a lot of money for, and he's working out how best to use the players we've got. So if that means Emerson isn't going as far forward, then we're using Kulusevski, who's far better at going forward. And that's what seems to be happening. Left-hand side, Sessegnon's far better again at going forward than he is defending, although he isn't great at going forward neither. And Perisic obviously is a far better going forward than he is defending. And the left-hand side seems to be that we're pushing more down the left-hand side than we are the right-hand side, other than using Kulusevski.
Well, Kulusevski has a lot more space to run into. We saw it yesterday. The amount of times he had the ball, he had so much space down the right-hand side. And that's why you can see that his heat map is more distributed because there's less players. It seems like everyone is getting crowded out on the left-hand side, trying to thwart out attacks. And that naturally is going to stifle Heung-min Son. So I think that maybe it's the tactics that are actually undermining Sonny more than it is Sonny playing badly. Alan, I don't know what your thoughts are on that one, mate.
I agree with a large amount of that. But when Richarlison does come on, he's playing in the same area and he just looks a much more lively threat. So I think there's more to it than just that, because he doesn't seem to be getting crowded out. He seems to be having a lot more impact in the game when he comes on as a sub. I think for me, like I said, Son's set his standards so high, and I think we're just seeing him in a bad patch of form. Sometimes he has this throughout seasons where he goes a couple of games without doing anything, and then all of a sudden you'll see him on a 5-6 game tear and he'll build from there. But yeah, for me, you can say that I agree with the concept of the way we're set up, because Emerson Royal, we all know, is not the best putting balls in. I can't remember the last time I actually saw him put a decent ball in for our attackers to latch onto. So he is more defense-wise, when obviously Perisic, that's what I said about earlier on. With Perisic there, our attacks are a bit lopsided. In fact, we're more predominant down the left than we are the right. So I can see both sides to it. For me, Son just I think he needs that to get that confidence back. I think he's just in a bad patch of form. And when he does, we'll see the same Son we saw last season. But unfortunately, he's just in a bad run of form at the moment.
I think the thing is, though, with Son and Richarlison, the two different styles of players. Richarlison's up in your face. He's making that thing, whereas Son relies on that ball to go through and use his pace.
Maybe we could try switching. Someone made a point of putting Perisic on the right. Maybe we could try doing some rotation and letting Sonny have a bit of space on the right-hand side. If we're going to do that, if we're going to use Perisic on the left and Ben Davies on the left, because we think that they are better offensive-minded defensive players generally, then whilst Romero's out, why don't we why don't we try and do an inverted? Try and play as more an inversion. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, but I think that Sonny right now might be a little bit thwarted, a little bit bottlenecked by the amount of players and compression that's in that area of the pitch. Sorry, Ellie, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a point, because if you notice, when Richarlison came on, he was predominantly for the first 5 or 6 minutes playing on the right, and then as soon as Perisic got taken off, and he switched to the left. So he's a very versatile player, whereas Sonny, he relies on that left wing to make most of his runs. And because Perisic is occupying it, he's got nowhere to go.
No space, yeah.
And also, he's not particularly good at receiving the ball back to goal. He's not very good at that. So he's better at running forward and using his pace, like you said, Shawnee, and getting onto passes that Kane makes. But I'm finding Kane, he's not dropping so deep so much. He's probably about 30-40% less dropping deep. So he's not getting those through balls either. And he's not, the midfield, although they are playing balls forward, they're not playing him to him. They're playing him to Kane. So he's losing out big time because Perisic is in the team. But then Perisic brings so much to the team. So you've got to get the balance. And in regards to Emerson, I think that he had a particularly good game because he's doing exactly what Conte tells him to do. Don't do anything silly. Defend. Get the ball to Kulu because you can't cross, lad.
I'll tell you what, though. Royal he had a couple of good crosses yesterday. It was just that there was nobody in the box.
Yeah. When he eventually does put one in,
Yeah,
they probably think he's not going to put a good cross in. It's not worth bothering moving.
Yeah. Just quickly, guys, before I'm going to come round to Alex and move on with the conversation. But there's a couple of super chats I want to get to. Tom, this is Ellie. This is for you from a couple of minutes ago before you dropped off when you were talking about. I think it was about Sonny. I think he's just making the point that we don't need to drop him, do we? We have to be careful with the terms and the verbiage that we use here. We're just about rotating, right?
But do you know what? I'm from old school, right? If I was dropped from the team, which didn't happen anyway, because I was just too good, right? Playing my own trumpet, right? I was an attacking midfielder. Attacking midfielder is what I feel that we need, because we need somebody. Because our midfielders are very, very much of the muchness. You know, there's not one player you can pick out and say, "My God, he's a Dembele," or "My God, he's a Modric." Yeah. You know, we haven't got that style of play, and we're built on playing progressive football, Spurs. So I think the fans' frustration is coming from that, because we're not linking up the play very well. And I know Alex, he likes exciting football. He doesn't like this mundane.
I've heard a lot of people, Ellie. I've heard a lot of people on different channels over the last 24 hours saying, and I guess it's a good time to move on to this general theme. And I do want to ask Alex first, because there is a super chat here from. By the way, thank you, Tom. I really appreciate the super chat, my man, and Moondog as well, my man. I think I've just seen you leaving the group, the chat. But if you're still here and watching, thank you so much for the super chat. Alex, I'll say, there's a lot of people that are saying right now, I've heard it 30 times last night, that we're playing boring football. Yes, we're getting results, but the performances, not only are they a little bit worrying, but also it's just boring football. First of all, what do you think about that? And then also, if you want to also incorporate Moondog's question to you, when I think this is back to you saying about Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg not being world class, and he's having a little dig at you about Winksy.
Firstly, I never said Wings world class. I never said
that. I can back you up on that, Alex.
So I just said I didn't subscribe to criticizing like everybody else does. But yeah, like at the end of the day, if you want levels, because we were looking to get Champions League before, now we're looking to do a little bit better, actually win trophies and actually be consistently good, because I actually want to see Tottenham do better than just getting the Champions League and getting Carabao Cup and just getting Champions League, which is a myth, by the way, because I'm ambitious. And if that is calling me negative, well, Mr. Box Office just eats those words up and chews them out and spit them out easily. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, this is the thing. It's like, I hear, you know, and the thing is though, these people follow these top Tottenham fans who go on these big channels, by the way, and listen to these people that say they fear Arsenal. Enough said, because they're bang.
I'm not worried about Arsenal at all. Arsenal needs to calm down, mate.
Exactly.
They played two teams that have got recently promoted.
The same people were saying that we're going to banter Chelsea. The same people were saying we're going to banter Chelsea. Oh, that looked really good, doesn't it? That looked really good, doesn't it? Really? But I'm in the mud. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're not in the mud.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? No, well, you know.
But are you happy with the performance? Are you happy?
No, I don't like the performance. No, I don't like the performance, because that is not a decent performance. I've had to now go back, because I think Davis has done very, very well. But now I'm looking at it and saying, no, he's not good enough. He's not good enough.
Ben Davies.
He's not good enough from the ball. He's not good enough from the ball at all.
And we haven't got a centre back.
I'm not asking for a world-class player, but now, in defence, you need somebody who's good with the ball. Sanchez is not good on the ball, bruv.
Longley. We need Longley in.
Sanchez is not good on the ball, bruv.
Whilst Romero's out, we need Longley in.
Dyer, right? Honestly, when you watch him on the back, he looks jelly. He looks like jelly. He looks like jelly.
Dyer was shaky yesterday. I agree with that.
Honestly, he looks like jelly on the ball. Honestly, because it goes one place to another place to another place. Then you've got Hojbjerg, who doesn't know where to pass. The only reason why he does good passes is because he's got time on the ball. That's the only reason why he does good passes. The wing backs don't do their job. And I'm sorry, they're not decent wing backs for me, yeah? Right? The only one that's got something, and at the end of the day, he's not even playing that great, to be honest with you. He's not even at his full pelt, Perisic, at the moment. So he's doing some good crosses. So that's promising. That's promising. Yeah. At full pelt, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry, they're not doing enough. Sessegnon, I'm all for Sessegnon. But he's not doing enough. He's not doing enough as a wing back. You need to get past your man, bruv.
Do you think? Yeah, but you think yesterday
and
was
you're
a
telling me
bad
that your creative midfielders, your creations coming from your wing backs, and that's the reason why Son's not playing well, because he's getting found out. He is getting found out. That's the reason why he's not playing well. He's got found out, and that's it. Because he's not got the space to run into anymore. They know what he's going to do. If you give him space, he runs into it and scores. And also, they found out that if Kane gets the ball, who's he looking for? Who is he actually looking for? The first player he's looking for is Son. They're stopping him from doing that anymore now. That's stopped him from doing his game anymore now. So I'm not having a go at Son, right? I think he's done very well and actually saved us a lot. Yeah, but at the moment, unfortunately, there's a time when you do get found out because you need your other players to start stepping up, and that's the problem at the moment. Not enough players are stepping up, and that's where we're going to get found out in the Champions League, and that's what I'm saying. Because quality teams will find us out easily. Wolves found us out, Chelsea found us out, and they're played like Champions League teams, in my opinion, and that's what I'm saying.
What was the score against Wolves, Alex?
Oh, just stop digging out, man. Whoever's
got TV on in the background, can you mute it, please?
Seeing as you school us on everything, then, Alex, are you a professional football manager by any chance?
No,
I'm a football fan that's saying my own opinion.
Tottenham over the last
I'm a football fan that says my own opinion.
Tottenham over the last few years have had three managers, and every one of them picks Hojbjerg as their first choice midfielder every time. Well, if he's so shit, why are they picking him? If they don't know anything, why are they in charge of our football team?
Well, firstly, it's an opinion because, like I said, I'm a football fan, so I've got my own opinion. So I'm allowed to have that. That's the first thing. You've had your 5 minutes of fame. You've had your 5 minutes of fame. Didn't really go too well, Bob, for you. Let me come back at you. Let me come back at you because you made some valid points which don't mean too much. I'm saying to you, in my opinion, we got just fourth with Hojbjerg in the midfield, right? And when he was only effective because Skip was in midfield before, then he became more effective because Bentancur was in midfield. So he's helping him out a lot.
How long has he been playing?
A lot. So he's not the best thing. He's not the best thing since sliced bread, by the way.
I've never said he's the best thing since sliced bread, but he's not as shit as you make out neither.
Oh well, I'm saying to you, he's a bang average midfielder. Right?
He's bang average.
I'm standing next to the biggest fan of his, by the way. Biggest fan of his, the Queen Helly, by the way.
I disagree with you there.
Yeah, and listen.
It's a matter of opinion, right? If Conte's the world-class manager, everybody agrees that, right? He's won titles. He knows the type of players that will get him over the line to win those titles. And Hojbjerg, he's trusted him from day one. He's dropped him once, and what did we do? We lost to Wolves, and it was our most shameful performance that we've ever put in, even worse than the Dynamo Zagreb one, because I was there, and it was raining as well. So I was wet, I was sad, and I didn't even see my Hojbjerg play. And then he brought him back straight away, and then we went on a 6-game run.
And I didn't.
I was sad.
Hojbjerg is a big difference between making top four. Now he's added Perisic, he's added Basuma. I want to see more of Basuma in a 3-man midfield.
Hojbjerg's keeping him out, which is brilliant. That's what
but I would like to see them, all three of them.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you look at it, Jose Mourinho played him every time he was fit.
Yeah, world-class manager.
I'm not class him as a world-class manager, but Nuno played him as first choice in there. So these are 3 shit managers, I take it, that are in charge of Tottenham Hotspur. We're all going on about how great Conte is, and we should trust the way he's going to do, and we're going to win things with him. And then we're saying, well, the one player he's picking every week is shit. Well, that makes him a shit manager, then surely.
Well, just
the fans that say he's no good, they're talking out their backside because he is good. He's not the best player in the world. Nobody. I'm not professing that he's the best midfielder in the world, but he's a solid midfielder who'll give his all. He'll play off the ball.
He'd get into most teams. He'd get into He'd get into Man United. He'd get into West Ham. He'd get into
the only teams he's not going to get into
Chelsea,
is City and Liverpool and Chelsea.
Real Madrid,
Liverpool's
for his business.
I reckon Liverpool's team is so old now. Liverpool's midfield is so old. If Hojbjerg was available, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's much better than Henderson. Just put it that way.
I laughed when I saw it. They must be on overdrive if they're making news. This is the thing. They've got nothing better to do with themselves. If it didn't mean Real Madrid are after him, to say, because they need a backup. I'm like, okay, so you just summed it all up. Real Madrid, who are supposedly our level, by the way, want a backup of Hojbjerg. That just sums it all up. Just there.
Why are they there? Why are they our level?
Just there. Just says they want him to be backup.
Why are we
and we want to be on the level of Real Madrid, trying to compete with those teams. Yeah.
We can't do it all in one. We can't do it all in one go, mate.
Ancelotti wouldn't play Hojbjerg as a backup, though.
Which midfielder did Real Madrid coming from Chelsea and Liverpool then?
They're losing Casemiro, aren't they? They've lost Casemiro to Man United. So obviously they need somebody similar to him who'll work his balls off. Excuse the French. But
right. We've heard a lot worse on this channel. Right, there's a nice super chat here from Timman007 who might be able to kind of it's a good question to ask everybody. And it might be I love the way he's worded it. Before we do, there's 160 people watching on YouTube and a bunch more across the other socials. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell so you know when we're next going live. Really appreciate everyone tuning in on this lovely bank holiday Monday. Timmano007 says, what is our expectations for this season? As this question is probably dividing fans, and if this group of players match what we or individuals expect. I'll start with you, Alan. What's your expectation for this season?
It's quite simple for me. Expectation this season, we've improved the squad. Obviously, the same team like the starting 11 was doing well towards the end of last season. For me, I think we can progress to third in the league. Third's a minimum for me, and a trophy. It's 2008. It's too long. Conte, I know it doesn't have the best track record in cup competitions, especially Europe. But for me, we normally tend to do well in a League Cup. I'll just take any trophy this season and third.
Any trophy and third. Would you take, just out of curiosity, would you take second and cup runs that don't eventuate with trophies? Or is trophy the be-all and end-all?
No, because we done it with Poch, didn't we? Poch got second and didn't get a trophy.
Yeah.
You showed second. When you look back at Premier League years, it's very hard to remember who finished second.
Yeah.
So for me, trophy is important.
Okay. And I always ask this question to people. Would you rather win? Would you rather come second? Well, I probably know the answer, but if we won a Carabao Cup, but we ended up falling apart in the season, and we ended up finishing 6th or 7th, would you consider that season with a trophy as more relatively successful than a season where we finish second in the league and go deep in the cups, but don't actually get over the line?
If we were a team that won numerous trophies and were consistently winning trophies, then it would be a failure. But because we haven't won a trophy so long, obviously, in hindsight, it would be still a bad season, but it would lessen the blow. It's the easiest way to answer that, the best way I can answer it.
You're very reasonable, mate. I like your takes. You're Levy out, but you're very reasonable with your...
I just want to see Tottenham win and do well.
Yeah, I like it. I'll ask Soren, mate, what's your expectation for the season?
Oh, I'm obviously negative. I want, obviously, a minimum of top 4. If we win a trophy, we win a trophy. Trophy doesn't mean we've got success if we don't finish in the top 4. Top 4 tells us we've been solid for the season and we're the 4th best team in that season over that season. Not just 3 or 4 matches that we've either had a damn easy draw and we've been lucky in one match. So minimum of top 4, preferably third. We know we're not the top 2 teams. You know, we know Liverpool are going to come back. We know City are there. The competition I see is Chelsea. I want to finish above Chelsea. So third, but as long as we're 4th, yes, if there's a cup along the way, that's brilliant.
Nice one. Ellie?
Yeah. Well, I'm greedy. I want to win trophies and I want to get into the top 3. Yeah. I want to get top 3. Yeah, I'm greedy because to win a trophy, right? It's not just winning a trophy. It creates such, euphoria at the club and the fans. Our fans are fabulous. We've been starved of success in terms of winning trophies. In terms of getting top 4, yeah, we've done it 5 times, I think now. This is our 5th season in the Champions League, if I'm not wrong. But I'm going to quote Bill Nicholson here, right? Because Bill Nicholson, he's from my dad's era, right? And my dad used to drum it into me. He said, right, it's not, we at Spurs, it's not just about winning. We've got to win well, right? So if we win well and we win a cup as well along the way, I think that's going to create such a spirit amongst those players because they've been so close. They've been to the Champions League final and lost. A lot of those players, obviously some have left, but there's still quite a lot of the team there. Like your Eric Dyers, your Lucas Moura's, all these players, they haven't won a trophy. So, and I want to win one. I don't care which one it is. Obviously, the Champions League would be the second best and the league championship, but I think we're just a bit short for that one. So the Champions League or an FA Cup would be superb.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't wait. I just want to get one over the line or 2.
Okay, love it. Alex, I'm going to ask you the same question before we move on. It's about time we got onto the actual player ratings, which was the whole point of the show initially. By the way, Alan, sorry, mate. I don't know. You haven't been on the show before. These shows go on a lot longer than most shows that you probably go on. So I don't know if you're expecting like a 2.5 hour stream. You can jump off anytime you need to if you thought it was an hour show. You
Bank
good?
holiday. I don't have to work, so I'm all good.
All right, perfect. Nice. So we've been known to go for for bloody ages. Alex, I'm going to ask you the question, the same question as what do you want this season? But Moondog's throwing out another one at you, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat, Moondog. You're coming at Alex today, challenging Alex. He's like, I would like to ask Alex what he would do or who he would play and what tactics he would use if he was Spurs manager.
This is a difficult one because I'm not a manager. But the point is, I prefer attacking midfielder somewhere, someone who can create. That would be one thing. 2 better wing backs that can go down the line because that's important. And I think we do need somebody. I think centre backs that are comfortable on the ball. And not so reliant on the front 3. That's one thing definitely that we need. And that's to bring us to the next level. I think would help us a lot. I think. I just think that's important. I think if I can think of an example, I probably would think of someone like Brighton, for instance. If you're looking at that sort of team, they seems to be very fluid. They use one-touch football. And it's not in and out, and going back without coming forward a lot of the time. I think that for me is what I like to see, if I'm really honest. But I mean, I have to maybe come to a realization. This is the way we are in 2022. Tottenham. This is our good performance. Looked as a good performance in 2022 for Tottenham. You see what I'm saying? So maybe I've just got to come to that realization, and that's it. To answer the question, we have to win a trophy this season. But that has to be this season. It just has to be. I think it's a failure if we don't. Regardless what we feel of the transfer window, I think that has to be the aim this season. And at least try and keep into the top 4. I think that would be a satisfactory season. That's it.
That's it. So on that, Alex, then would you take 5th and a trophy or 6th and a trophy rather than top 4 then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I don't think Champions League is our level at the moment. I don't think Champions League is our level. I think we are scraping the barrel. I think we can get through that group because on paper we look good, like I said on my videos.
You see, I think this is where the argument comes in. I mean, I get where you're coming from, and I think this is where the words negative and positive get mixed up, because the positive angle of that is you want to win something, but give away top four, you know, and where I say I want to be top four but without a trophy. And this is where other people get confused, saying, well, one of us has been negative and one of us has been positive.
Ambitious, unambitious, positive, negative. They're all like superlatives.
Listen.
People's priorities are different. Like for me, I'd rather play, one second, Alex. I'd rather play Bayern Munich every year than Bristol Rovers every year in the Cup. Right. Yeah. Like to me, it's just like lifting a trophy. I get it. I understand that to everybody else, to a lot of other people, the majority of people, lifting a trophy is the definition of success. I understand that. To me, I want to see us playing at the highest level against. I was like during the cup draw, I was torn because on the one hand, we've got a good chance of playing. And you were on the show with me at the time, and you convinced me that it wasn't a bad thing to be not playing the best teams. I wanted to play the best teams in the group stages because I like to. What's the point of playing in the Champions League if you're going to play teams that are generally in the Europa League? But actually, you convinced me that we'll play those teams later on in the competition anyway if we do well. But to me, playing against the very best is more important and more memorable for me as a football fan than getting a potentially very easy draw, playing against the likes of Blackburn Rovers or Bristol Rovers or whoever, and then going and lifting a trophy that's a moment of joy, but ultimately it might not necessarily test you, depending on how lucky you get. In the Champions League, you know you're going to play the very best. And in the Premier League, you know you can't avoid playing the best teams twice a year. So I think the best barometer of where you are as a club and how far you've progressed, and if you're having a good time and it's enjoyable as a fan, for me, is looking at where you finish in the league, because it ultimately dictates the sort of quality of teams that you get to play every week.
I need to just come back on that as well, because to be fair, Soren, you handled it very well. Mr. Box Office coming at you, by the way, because some people just crumble, by the way. So to be fair,
some people fold like a paper cup under the pressure of Alex.
And Alan, stop! Take your hand off your face, man. I was actually going to big you up as well, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because I'm glad you're on as well. To be honest with you, I'm going to have to come off. I'm going to have to come off because I've got to discipline myself. But like I say, you know, I think yes, we should be aiming for that as well. But my reason for getting trophies at the moment is that we've got Antonio Conte in the building at the moment, you know. And for me, the standards when you've got Antonio Conte in the building is that high. That's why I argued with Sava, because he keeps on having to go at Pochettino. I'm not going to go because that's done now. I'm not going to go on about it anymore because that is done. That debate now is done. But why you had to go at Pochettino? Because he wasn't at that level to have that power to say, I need this, or need this, or I'm going to leave. You know what I mean? Conte's got that power. You see what I'm saying? Because he's got the accolades to back that up. And he's saying, well, I'm sorry, you need me more than I need you. Poch needed Tottenham more than he needed, us needed him. You see what I'm saying? Because we could go to other managers because of what Poch did. You see what I'm saying? And the same with Martin Jol. There's a little bit about that with Harry Redknapp at the time, I would say as well. Conte's a different mould of manager. You see what I'm saying? Where he's at a level where we want to get to that level. And that's why my expectations, and now I'm looking at players in a different light now, has completely and utterly changed. And I know David Harris is going to come on and say, oh, you said this, he said that, he said this, he said that. Well, look what's changed, you know what I mean? But again, he won't invite me on his show because I'm batting him all day long, you know what I mean? Sorry, Ellie, I shouldn't speak to people about people like this in front of you, because you should be respected, like I said, you know what I mean? Because you're the queen. But sorry, shots are fired by Mr. Box
got a lot of love for you.
On that note,
the thing is, David's like you, Alex. He tells it from the heart. You coming from the heart because you want our team to match Conte's level and expectations. There's nothing wrong with that. Every fan has got a certain ambition that they want to fulfil. Sean is to make top 4, if I'm not wrong, because that brings in revenue for our club, and we can grow and grow and grow.
I'm not a revenue whore. I don't care. I do care about that stuff. I think one hand washes the other. One hand washes the other.
I heard you say it's still successful if you finish top 4 because you're bringing in a lot of more money, and then you can grow with that money.
Exactly.
And you can attract better players.
Exactly.
So now we've made Champions League. I want to attract. We haven't really attracted, apart from Perisic, we haven't really attracted somebody from abroad to come to our club, and it's just a shame.
Do you know what? The one thing I want to say, though, Ellie, about the window, not to get too much back onto it, but we haven't been... tell me if I'm wrong here. Like, there's 5 of us on the stream. Tell me if I'm wrong. My memory sometimes is hazy. But we haven't... Like, usually, there's a story in the window where we've gone after a player and then we've been gazumped, or we haven't paid the extra 2 million, the 5 million, whatever it was that the other club wanted. We end up losing out, and the player goes somewhere else, and it's like that's one of the knife sharpening tools of Team Levy out. But this summer, as far as I'm aware, the only players that we've gone after that we haven't signed are players that haven't left their club anyway. Bastoni, Guardiol, whatever, Pau Torres, whatever, right? But everybody else that we've been after, and clearly after, we've signed.
Yeah, but it's disappointing that we didn't get one over the line out of all those players that you just mentioned. All right, but money talks. Like you say, Sean, you say it all the time. You say if a club's successful and they're bringing in revenue and they're making Champions League and they're making their profile higher.
Yeah.
The Spurs, we've already got a famous name worldwide. In America, I was told by Mile High Hotspur, Leo, that we've got the most fans there. So that tells you something. We're beating Manchester United. We're beating Liverpool. So now we've got to take that step. Now we've made the Champions League. So next year, if we don't win a trophy, I want to win a trophy and I want to win the Champions League as well, because that's progression. And I want to attract those players who didn't come to us this year.
100%. 100%. I love that about you, Ellie. Ultimate ambition.
I want the best for our club.
Alex has got to drop off. Thank you so much for coming on, Alex. Moondog has said, even though he's been giving you a hard time with the super chats, coming at you.
He wasn't giving you a hard time, Bob. Like I said,
you're bantering him.
We don't care.
Yeah, I've got to drop off as well, Shawnee. I've got to drop off as well because I've got to cook something for my hubby.
All right. Well,
otherwise,
let me do 2 at
I
one
won't
time,
be a wife anymore.
That's no worries. No worries. We got.
But I'll come on later if you're still running 7 hours on.
We could well be a few hours. Let me start with you.
All right,
Alex.
Darling.
Just wait, Alex. I'm going to give you a chance to plug the channels.
Of course.
Alex, what's happening on Alex THFC?
Hopefully, I can do some. I'm doing 10-minute videos at the moment. I like doing more lives, but timings are just not happening at the moment. But I'm hopefully do a video on my channel and stuff like that. I just need to say something. It's good to see Alan on here. Because
breath of fresh air.
Please subscribe to him.
Yeah, very cool.
Very hard, doing lots of lives and stuff like that. So that's cool. Big up to you, Soren. Like I say, keep it going. You ain't gonna banter me though, mate. You know what I mean? But keep it going though. Keep it going because I like it. I like it. You know. And Ellie, you're the queen, hands down. Regardless whether we don't agree on anything, love enthusiasm, love the energy. And Sean, you're my guy. You know what I mean?
Love you, bro.
You know what I mean? You know my guy. You know what I mean? So
all good. All love, my man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, get over to Alex's channel, Alex THFC. Cheers, mate. Hit that link in the channel. Show some love. You go and smash the subscribe button. It doesn't take you away from the stream. It just opens up another tab and allows you to just hit the subscribe button. And then you can check him out a little bit later on. And Ellie, excuse me, I forgot my throat. Ellie, over to THFC Till I Die. What's happening over there?
Yeah, THFC Till I Die. We're doing another post-match tomorrow. We've got a really good show coming up called the King, the Queen, and the Godfather. The Godfather being Philip Brady. What a fantastic guy he is! Full of knowledge, full of wisdom, full of beautiful stories about older Spurs, and he's got such knowledge about things that most fans don't know about. So it's a breath of fresh air that we've got him on the channel, and we've got lots of other shows. We're going to do a North London debate one as well. North London is ours debate. We've, invited some, I don't want to say it, but the gooners on our show. And we've just got lots of different ideas, myself and Dermot and we're trying to build our channel. We've got to 600 now, so come on, you THFC till I die. And like I said, just want to reiterate what Alex said. Alan, breath of fresh air. Soren, fantastic as always. And Shawnee, you keep your Levy in, out, staying on the bench. Shaking all about.
Love it.
And I just hope you reach the 3,000 as well, because you deserve it. And then onwards and upwards. I
think we're about 100 away or something now. Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. But I'm
trying my best for you as well.
Love you, Ellie. You're awesome. Thanks so much for coming on. See you soon. Cheers.
Yeah, you take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we're down to the magical 3. I think there's going to be a couple other people joining. I did put the link out in the description. Is it still there? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, just seen it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's 150 of us still watching. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And also, I'm going to take the opportunity right now, because sometimes people leave when the time is running short. I'm going to take the opportunity right now to show a little bit of love to Alan as well. I'm going to put his channel in the link. Oh, where am I going? And what's it called? It's called Time Added On. Guys, it's 150 of you. If 20 of you would just do a solid and just click that link, this link right here. Not that link. Where is it? This one here. Just click that link for me and go over there and smash a subscribe to Alan's channel. I know he's big. He's been big and busy around the community and all the big community channels that talk about football generally, not just Tottenham. And now he's starting his own journey on the Tottenham space. So do you want to talk a little bit about what happens on your channel?
So literally it's brand new. Only been doing shows for just over a month or close to a month. Started at the beginning of the season. Predominantly it's everything Spurs. So previews, reviews, watch-alongs. But I will be doing watch-alongs for other teams as well, like big games and all that, and covering like rivals. Because although I love Spurs, I love everything Premier League. So I want to cover and watch as much football as I can this season. So what I do is obviously, because I'm new, I'm reaching out to any new Spurs fans that I haven't interacted with yet to get them on the channel, get their thoughts, so I can just, widen my Spurs horizons. So for me, thanks for having me on. Obviously, I'm looking forward to getting into the player ratings and all that. But yeah, that's my channel in a nutshell, and it's very new, so it's growing slowly but steadily.
Well, you got another one right now from Tom Marcannon, big man, Tom, good man, even big man, big up, Tom. I'm trying to think the words come out wrong there, mate. Well done so far, mate. I really appreciate you having on. Dermatron's on. How you doing, Dermo?
Not too bad, Shawnee. How are you? Brilliant show. I've been watching it. I had to come on with Alex was on. I'm sorry.
Sorry you missed him. It was a shame.
So, yeah, some of the things he was saying, but big up to Adam and Soren as well. I think it's the first time I've met you both. Good luck with your channel. Any help, any you need, just drop us an email on my YouTube channel. Anytime, just drop us a link. Lovely to meet you too, Soren. Nice.
Yeah, welcome. But I think there's a couple of people that are going to come on as well. But let's get going into the Spurs. Let me get this just so I can do it later for the What are you gonna? Here we go. We've got another man coming in right now. What's happening, Nick? How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Just so I can spend a couple of seconds just getting this when I clip it later on for the second part of the show. This is the Tottenham player ratings from the game against Nottingham Forest yesterday, 2-0. Let's get into it. Nick, just quickly, let me start with you, then I'll come to Dermatron. Before we get into player ratings, just very briefly, what's your overall take on the game? We're going to start with, not against the press conference stuff, I'll save that for the second time. We're going to take well, just tell me, as we're going through it, I'll be bringing up the slides to talk about the various player ratings for both teams. We're not going to go into Nottingham Forest in any detail, but I do think it's worth just having a little glimpse at them, because I do think that a lot of people are not giving Nottingham Forest credit for a brilliant performance from them. I think that they really took it to Tottenham, and I think they're going to be absolutely fine this year. I don't think they're going to have any problems, any relegation threats. I don't know if you agree with that, but let's start, Nick, with your initial take on the game overall, my man.
Well, thanks for that 2-minute question introduction that I got lost on what I was exactly talking about.
You're welcome. Carry on.
No, look, I think Nottingham Forest are probably a decent number 9 away from being okay. They're playing some good football. And, yeah, I think against the other teams around them, they should be fine. But it all depends. I mean, they've signed like 482 players, so they'll probably sign another 1,000 before the transfer window shuts. But yeah, they've got Dennis, Emmanuel Dennis in as well. So look, I think you're right, Sean. I think they're going to be absolutely fine. I guess in terms of yesterday, I thought it was kind of end to end. It was in terms of being scrappy. There were chances, and I guess in terms of us, if we'd been a little bit more clinical, it could have been 4 or 5-0. I don't think I was ever worried about Forest actually scoring. But I think, look, I think again we play that well? Probably not. However, like I put in the comments earlier, we're 10 games undefeated, best start in 13 years. I will take if our average points tally for the first 4 games continues for the rest of the season, we're on 95 points or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or even at worst case, 7 out of every 9 points we're getting. Look, I don't want to take it because we would all like to see the free-flowing football that we saw maybe towards the end of last season, the 4-0s, the 5-1s and everything else. However, I am comfortable with us playing badly and winning games and having clean sheets. And yeah, I think we just need to move away from this. Oh, this is dog shit. This is this. This is that. You know, we're gonna have the narrative on Thursday of this was the worst transfer window in the world. And I think we just need to remember where we are. We were never going to fix it in one transfer window. We were never going to fix this squad. And Conte is obviously happy because he's still here. And they're all talking about success and where we're going. Look, we all know. Look what can happen with the crazy results. We're now going to go into a period where before the World Cup is that we'll be playing 3 games a week. And that's going to be the test. And that's what's also going to, I guess, fall around the other teams like Arsenal who have, yes, they have got off to a good start. However, they haven't played anyone good. And I'll keep going on about that. We spoke about this last night. You can only play what's in front of you, but that's going to be the test. And obviously now we know today that Pape Matar's been removed from the transfer market because Bentancur's head injury. However that happened, I don't even remember seeing that. But however that happened is obviously worse than they fear. And we'll just see. I still think that there's movement. There's going to be some movement somewhere with Inter. And there's going to be a late rush, and maybe we don't get it over the line, and it has to wait till January. But look, we could be sat here with like we were last season, 3 wins out of 3, thinking that everything else is all rosy because Nuno's come in and done it. But look, let's just be positive. We we go to West Ham. That'll probably be the first test. There's obviously something clearly wrong with Sonny. Whether it's a mindset, whether or not it's because what you spoke about, Sean, in the fact that
tactics,
the tactics and the people were kind of crowding.
I don't know if that's true. I'd like someone who's more informed than I am on tactics.
But
I'm not a tactical genius, so I'd like someone to...
there's been no one to push him. So we spoke about this before. There's been no one to push Son, Kane, Kulusevski, Emerson, Sessegnon, Davis, Romero. There's been no one to push all these players, and now there is. I just think we just need to stay a little bit grounded and just celebrate where we are and what we've achieved. But I'm happy to play the way that we've been playing. And I was never really worried with yesterday's game.
I wasn't worried either. I wasn't worried. Listen, and the stats are going to show us through that.
Just a question, Sean, to Nick and
go on, mate.
Everybody else. How many, if you're at the game and we've played poorly, but we've won 1-0 or 2-0, when the final whistle goes, how many of you wouldn't celebrate?
Yeah.
That's, celebrate. Eh?
100%. I
think that goes back to this question from Derek Smith. He asked earlier. Better question rather than would you take third and no trophy or seventh and a trophy? Forget that one. I'll put that to one side. Would you rather play pretty football with highs and lows, or ugly football and be hard to beat? At the end of the season, what would you take? And a lot of people at this, and I'm happy to hear either opinion on it. Do you want to play ugly and win, or play pretty and lose?
Look, I mean, I'll go first with this one. I want to win. Don't matter how we win, I want to win. Yes, we want to win with lovely football, and we all go on about the Tottenham way is to play beautiful football. Well, the Tottenham way of playing beautiful football hasn't won us a lot, has it? So to me, we've got to win. The most important, if we're talking about the league, there's only one thing that's important. That's 3 points after every match. Doesn't matter how you've got them. It's 3 points after every match. And at the end of the year, say we did win the league, how many of us are going to go back and say, I didn't want to win the league because we played shit all season? No, all we're going to be bothered about is winning that league.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to celebrate after every match if we've won. Full stop.
Okay, I agree. But obviously, it's not the Tottenham way, is it? Like, you go back to, I don't know, a long time before I was born.
The game has changed. It goes round in circles. It's like Ellie was saying earlier, about the days gone past. The concept of football has changed. Years and years ago, we didn't have these multi-billionaires in charge of the teams. We had millionaires, and I get it, but these players now are asking for phenomenal amounts of money, stupid wages every week, and costing. I mean, we're talking players costing 100 million £80 and they're not necessarily the best players in the world. Things have
Fofana, 85 million. This is the other thing. Not that I want to get off the topic because we'll be here for fucking hours, but like a lot of people were saying that we should be. And I asked a question in a Tottenham walk I did. Should we be comparing our window to Chelsea's and reflecting differently on our window because Chelsea have gone into the market with an aplomb and gone after everyone and got it. And like on the one hand, you could say, look, but Todd Bowley, and I'll come to Alan on this one, and then I'll come to Dermatron, and then we're going to start the player ratings. Okay, then I'm going to start the whole player ratings again because we're getting off topic. But for me, like spending exorbitant amounts of money does not equal success. And you could point to Aston Villa. Right, in the recency bias, just look at Aston Villa. They spent a fuck ton of money in January, a fuck ton of money last summer, and quite a lot of money this summer, and they are looking absolutely woeful. Aston Villa have had the worst start to. If they lose their next game, or if they get 1 point from their next two games, it will be their worst start to a Premier League or to any season since 1875 or something mad like that. Right? And they spent a fuck ton of money. So spending money doesn't work necessarily. Look at Everton, 600 million quid down the drain, and Everton are definitely going to get relegated this season because the teams that are coming up or that have come up are looking a little bit more polished than Everton are. You look at Manchester United, spent £1 billion and have gone backwards. Right? So spending exorbitant amounts of money doesn't equal success. It's not what people want to hear. Like when they look at the window and they think, well, where's the £150 million gone? Why can't Tottenham go out and get great players? You can look at other teams that do really well who don't spend exorbitant amounts of money. Leicester City a few years ago, brilliant example, right? There's loads of teams that go about their business. Brighton, not Bournemouth, Brighton, even Southampton. There's loads of teams that go about their business in more structured and financially astute ways. That Brentford is the better example. Sorry, not Southampton. Those teams go about their business. It's not about who you sign or how much you spend. It's about the way that they fit into the squad. Alan, just quickly, do you? What are your thoughts on that, mate? On whether Chelsea's window is the benchmark for what teams like Tottenham should be doing?
I mean, for me, it makes there's no comparison between our windows. Purely for the fact is, Chelsea are doing a lot of rebuild for their first team. So obviously having to replace Rudiger, they're saying about midfield, their front line, all that. So they're trying to replace people for the here and now, their starting lineup. Whereas we've improved one or two areas. So Perisic, like I said, coming for a free, improves the left-hand side, and Basuma could possibly do that, and we've done that in 25 million. Just you don't always have to spend big amounts to have successful windows. We saw it when Spurs have spent loads of big money recently with Dembele, didn't work, the sales didn't work. So you don't always have to. I think you have to identify the top quality players for the right positions to buy. So it looks like we're doing that next year. Rather than go and spend a ridiculous money on the centre-back, I think it looks like we're reserving the money to go again for Bastoni next season, which is looking long-term, which can be done, because I think we've brought in a player to structure us at the back until that point. So for me, it doesn't always have to be hundreds of millions. You've seen recently with players, Grealish really hasn't still lived up to his 100 million price tag. Lukaku, never done it at Chelsea. Maguire's nowhere near doing it. Who would I just say? Maguire's never done it at Man United. So for me, you don't always have to spend every single, hundreds of millions to make a successful window. You just got to be shrewd in what you do. Sometimes we do that, but sometimes we've had the wrong people leading negotiations, which drag out. And obviously we lose. So a couple of years ago, we could have had Grealish for 30 million. Someone wouldn't pay the extra 5 million. So we lost out on Grealish at Aston Villa. Stuff like that needs to be eradicated, but it's not spending 250 million.
I always point to that particular one that Alan is saying nobody else paid the extra 5 million either. There's 500 chairmen in world football, and every single one of them agreed that he wasn't worth the money that Aston Villa wanted for him.
Well, for me, I think
he was getting at Levy more than anybody else.
So that's my point to the transfer window. If you go back to the question about playing ugly and winning against playing good and losing. Playing ugly and winning is okay to a point. Mourinho tried to do that, playing ugly and winning. And then when it didn't work, that's when all the fans then jumped on him and said it's 100%. Really bad. So you've got to be able to win consistently with it. If you don't, we fall apart, because obviously we're not playing well. If it goes the same way as Mourinho, then those fans who were, everything's going well will soon turn the other way. So
100%.
You can switch the point. But last season, away from home against Leeds, against Norwich at the final day of the season, when we were attacking teams, we were destroying them. So we can do it. I don't know if it's just start of the season, obviously. He's trying new things, or the team hasn't got up to full capacity because we are not transitioning quicker. But it's just one of them where I think over the season it will get better as it goes along. But we'll have to wait and see.
But I think the thing to argue against that one is quickly the 3 or 4 games that stick out the most from last season are the ones where we played fairly negative, but we attacked really well, which is Liverpool and Man City. They're the two that you look and you think, at the end of the game, we were bloody brilliant because we came out and either won or drew. But yet we had the least amount of possession. We was defending doggedly and we was breaking on the counter.
Yep. Yeah, 100% agree, mate. 100% agree. Dermotron, I'm going to bring you in for last words on this whole section. The window and playing ugly, winning versus playing sexy and taking the risk. I love what Alan said though about that point. We did that under Jose. If you're going to play ugly to win, you have to be perfect and consistent with it. The second that it goes wrong is the second that the fans fall out of favour. But Dermotron, I'll come to you for last words, and then we're going to start the long-awaited hour and 45 minutes late player ratings.
I mean, look, I'll start in the window. It's been a good window. It's not been great, but it's been good. We've got some decent players in. I do think we will get a few more players in for the end of the window. If not, then we are building for January. But if you look back to last year, we were searching for a manager. It took us for how long to get a manager? Our transfer market wasn't great then. I think we're in a far better place than we were this time last summer when the wheels fell off after the 3 games with Nuno. As for playing sexy football to ugly, well, look, Leicester won the league playing this type of way of football, and they won the Premier League. It can be done successful. I think the first 3 games we haven't played great, but we've picked up more points against teams we lost to. We beat Wolves, who we lost to last season. We drew at Chelsea. Chelsea played us off the park, but we've got a point, which is never, ever a thing. We always go to Stamford Bridge. We end up always losing. We've got a point from that. So that's a point more than what we got from Chelsea last season. So I think you've got to look at the positives. I think as long as we win and we can win playing in a certain way that's acceptable, then I'm happy. But as Alan said, if the wheels come off, then, yeah, we will go on Conte's back because we have to play in a certain manner. But I think we haven't got the players to play out this expansive football, so we have to play to our strengths. And our strengths is how we're playing at the moment. hopefully the transfer market will change that in the last few days and in January. But look, we've got to look at the positives. We've started well. We're unbeaten. We'll beat West Ham on Wednesday, and I just think we'll take it one game at a time. But Leicester did it, so why can we not do it?
100%. I don't think there's any reason why we can't challenge this year. We just have to get lucky with certain things and other people, whatever. There's a whole bunch of variables that we can discuss another time. Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited. It's time to get into the Tottenham Hotspur player ratings from yesterday. And we're going to start, before we get into the actual specific players, I'm going to, again, scoot through these cards. Just let everyone who's watching this post the live stream have a quick glance at the Nottingham Forest players. Joe Worrell was an absolute stalwart at the back for them. He had that massive chance as well to score, which he in the first half, which he didn't take. We're not going to be using. I mean, we can glance at the SofaScore ratings, but as I said earlier on, they do have their own algorithm that prioritizes certain things and doesn't look into other things. So hopefully, the panel here is going to be able to figure out for us what the accurate and relevant scores are for each of the Tottenham players. Just having a quick look right now, Nick. I don't know if you want to take your time to have a quick look through these particular two slides. I'll start with you in terms of the chances, according to. What's this from? Understat.com. 80% of the chances, or 79% of the chances, did go to Tottenham. The goals obviously went to Tottenham. The XG was at 2.44. Shots was obviously very even. There's lots of shots either side, but we had the majority of the shots on target. I'm not going to bother with the other stuff. It's all a little bit boring. I don't particularly understand what it means anyway. But I do want to take a quick glance to this XG growth rate through the game. And once again, it shows a significant second half dominance that wasn't there necessarily in the first half. Nick, before we get into the players, mate, the overall game, do you agree with the consensus from these stats that Tottenham we struggled in the first half, but dominant in the second?
I don't think we struggled in the first half. I think obviously we came out of the blocks quite quickly and hit them on the counter attack. I'm not the stats and the eye test and that argument. Look, I think actually we were probably Nottingham Forest came at us more in that second half than they did in the first half. So it doesn't really back up those stats. But it was more of an open game. It was more of an open game, and there was more chances. But if we'd have certainly, if Kane had got the ball from out under his foot, Sonny whipped that one over the bar. We could have been home and dry at half time. I wouldn't say that it's followed the pattern necessarily in the previous few games where we've been really bad first half and better second half. Second
half we had. So in the first half we had 5 shots, 1 on target, 3 off target, 1 block shot. 241 passes versus their 335. We had a weaker accuracy. Long balls, this is something we have to work on, clearly. This is the first half stats. Crosses, we didn't do too many, and we were only 50-50 on it. Dribbles, not that great either. And if you look at the second half, just as a comparison, we were far better defensively. We won another, 30% in aerial duels than we did in the first half. Better with the ground duels. We were far more likely to dribble with the ball, and we had a better accuracy with it. Again, the crossing's not great. Long ball accuracy slightly improved, but long ball accuracy should be 60% or more if you're a team that is going to participate in that venture. Our accuracy improved, but actually the passing was relatively the same. Actually, it was only Nottingham Forest that had less passes. And then in terms of total shots, we had far more in the second to the first. Far more on target as well. 6 versus 1. I think that's where those XGs have come from. That XG difference, yeah.
Yeah, so look, obviously the stats prove that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Much like me, mate.
But I don't think it was. I mean, was it? I think it was probably more like you said because of the shots, but also because Forest were leaving more space because they had to come and attack us more and try and get something out of the game. But yeah, I don't think I don't think there was the miles gap that showed in the from the second half to the first half. I don't think there was that. It was.
No, I agree.
As big as it maybe that graphic shows.
I agree. I'm going to give you the first crack at. We go around the houses. There's only four people that I want to get the opinions of, so that's all good. Hugo Lloris, I'll just read them out and I'll go around the houses. Not obviously he played the whole game. He had one save, one punch. He ran out with the ball successfully, caught the ball twice, which is unusual for him. Once again, though, his accurate passes are poor and his distribution less than 50%. It's so frustrating. Made 3 clearances. Apart from that, was flawless, I guess, or nothing really to report. Anything you want to say about Hugo Lloris? Are you happy with his performances right now? Are you worried about him, Nick?
No, I'm not. I'm not worried about him because he showed in the Chelsea game that that obviously Chelsea scored from that corner, but he will have those reaction saves that we need. Look, I was worried when that ball got put across the penalty area and Hugo came out to push it away. I was worried he was going to absolutely get it wrong and completely take the player out, which we've kind of seen. But he was alert. There was a couple of times when the ball came over the top, he came out and he just booted it out into the, he was playing for safety. And like we were saying about playing ugly in the past, he would have tried to maybe be a bit cute, get caught on the ball, pick the wrong pass out. And maybe it's going back to when we were all at school, where it's like, if in doubt, put it out, row Z. And that's kind of what he did. He hasn't, in all of it, in truth, really, apart from maybe Chelsea, but the other games, he hasn't been tested. We haven't had that onslaught, but he's doing, there's nothing that really to kind of say, we know what his passing and his distribution is like, but apart from that, he's not done, we haven't, he hasn't conceded. They haven't allowed it. And obviously with Big Dave in there with over 9 hours now of not conceding a goal with him being in defence, then
we'll talk about him in a second.
Yeah.
So. Are you happy to give him a 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10? What's your score?
6, yeah, 7 out of 10. 6, 7 out of 10, yeah.
Does anyone else on the panel have any meaningful contributions on Hugo Lloris, or should we just skip on to the next guys?
I just think with Hugo, it's one of those that we've said a couple of times now that if you've got supposedly, this shit defence that we've got in front of him, are stopping teams having lots of shots against him. So another clean sheet, really shit defence apparently, crap goalkeeper, always making errors. Sorry, Don't agree with any of it.
Actually, there is something I would like to actually. I'd like to show you guys. I don't know if you can see this, but let me see if you can see this. I saw a stat a couple of days ago about Tottenham Hotspur and giving up XG inside the 6-yard box, and that we have the lowest ever in terms of start to the season, conceding goals or conceding shots against inside our 6-yard box. And once again, the only shot that our opposition have had inside the 6-yard box was from Ryan Yates on the 62nd minute. It was a header. It was a blocked header. But once again, we restrict and the vast majority of these are missed shots, save shots, block shots. There's obviously they only had like a couple of shots on target, but once again, making our opposition have to do business generally outside the box, but also at least if they're in the box, they're not inside the 6-yard. I think is a wonderful testament to our defence, more so than Hugo Lloris. But just another stat that I wanted to bring up. I think it's quite impeccable.
Your goal is only as good as the defenders in front of him.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the controversial one, and I'll start with this one with Alan. Let's start with you, buddy. Davinson Sanchez, 9 hours now without conceding a goal, but on the performance on the day, how did you think he did?
So for me, I've been critical previously of Sanchez, and it's mainly when he goes with Dyer in defence, and it happened again yesterday. They can get pulled out of position. There's gaps in behind, which obviously I think they need somebody like Romero who's been there to help them. But Sanchez has come back in. That's still happening, but he's one-on-one defending. He seems to have got a lot better at. He's not rash. He's not because before that, all he ever wanted to do was just a strength and throw people around or outmuscle them. And he doesn't seem to be doing that. He seems to be more focused now, which for me has improved his one-on-one defending. So for me, in this game, I think he done the one-on-one defending well. Yes, he got caught out of position a couple of times, but we weren't at any balls from Nottingham Forest down the side. We got opened up quite a bit because without Romero in there to be able to for them to be more organised, that happened. So for me, I'd give Sanchez a 7. People might think that's a bit too critical, but I'd give him a 7 because of his one-on-one defending.
Yeah, I mean, SofaScore gives him a 7.5. They've said he's 76 touches on the ball. I think that's pretty high for the rest of the team as well. We'll look at that as we go through. 84% accuracy of passing, very good. He's tried 5 long balls though without any success. But yeah, ground duels, he's won 4 from 5. Aerial duels, he was 100% accurate. Only gave the ball away 10 times when the ball was at his feet. 2 interceptions, 3 tackles. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll go to decimals. You haven't got to give it a round number. I think he was a 7.5. I think he was really good yesterday. That's just my take on it. Anybody else want to have a strong opinion on Sanchez?
Well, to be fair, I mean, I've been very critical of Sanchez. I mean, for a long while now, but I thought he had a really good game yesterday. I thought out of the back three, he was the best out of them. And he may be this 9 hours not conceding the goal. His distribution hasn't been great. He has made mistakes, but yesterday he was solid, and I would actually give him an 8 for yesterday.
People in the comments agree with you.
I think out of the back three, out of Dyer, who I thought wasn't great, and I thought Davis was awful. I think Sanchez was the best one out of the 3 of them, and I think long may it continue.
Perfect.
I think that's his weakness, though, isn't it? He just can't bring the ball out. He's good as a defender. He's like an Emerson Royale again, isn't he? He can defend, but he just can't work with the ball once he's got it.
And I think he's been very. I mean, I've been very critical of him. The end of last season and this is even in pre-season, but yesterday he just seemed he was good yesterday. And if he's played well, I would say he's played well, and I give him an 8. And he seems to be, as long as Conte can get the best out of him, I think Conte will, and I think Conte will get the best out of most players. But he played well yesterday, and I have to give my hand off to him.
But I think he's very typical of Eric Dyer, isn't it? That he'll play well for say 89 minutes, but you always know there's a point in the match that something's going to go wrong with him.
You're sort of watching it, aren't you? You're sort of waiting for it, and then
waiting for it. I mean, like with Romero, you know, there's probably going to be a mistake in there, but you kind of never expect it. You always know he's either going to clean out somebody out. But with Davis and Dyer, it doesn't matter how good a game they have, you're just waiting for that mistake.
Yeah, with Sanchez, it was like a sigh of relief, right? That's over. He's played. He hasn't made a mistake.
Yeah, 100%.
The next one.
All right, so we're gonna give him a. Well, there's a lot of people saying 8, so I think maybe we need to upgrade him to an 8. If I'm honest, most people are saying he was tip top yesterday. I happen to agree with you, Dermotron. I don't disagree with you, Alan. But I'm happy to give him a.
I would have said nearer 7 than 7.5 personally, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the mob has spoken in the comments, so we're going to give him an 8.
And what Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer. Let's start with Dermotron on this one. Let's just quickly played the 90 minutes. 1 clearance, 1 block shot, 1 interception. All weaker than compared to look at that, 10 clearances from Davinson. I didn't realize it was 10. That's probably why he got the extra scores. Ground duels. He lost the one that he participated in aerials 2 from 2, 64 touches of the ball, gave the ball away 4. Oh, that's the wrong person. Hang on. 64, gave the ball away 8 times, fouled once. Passing was okay. Long balls was absolutely woeful once again. We need somebody better in the middle to be able to distribute the ball, don't we, Dermatron?
Rarely do. I mean, I watched him yesterday. I was pulling my hair out. He had the ball and he was pointing, go there. He was telling the Forest player where he was going to go with the ball. I mean, for God's sake, what did he think he was? A traffic man, policeman standing at an accident trying to tell the traffic where to go. He does my head in, Dyer. He was awful yesterday. He wasn't as bad as Davis, but he was bad. And I don't know what to say. I mean, there's always a mistake in him. He'll never improve. As soon as we can get a defender to upgrade on him, the better.
Because, on Dyer?
Yeah, on Dyer. Because we cannot have Romero and Dyer. I mean, we will always have a dodgy defense while that man's in there. I give him a 5 for yesterday. I mean, I thought he was that bad.
Okay. Wow. Fucking hell. That's a strong one. Let me just quickly bring somebody else into the show. Listen, I can't just drop him in. Because I know he likes to be entered the correct way. I think we hear somebody at the door. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we've had him on the show. Please welcome back to the channel, Canada's favourite Tottenham fan, Canada's number 1 likely candidate to get tattoos on his arms. Welcome to the show, Brian Daigle. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, Sean. It's good to see you, brother. How is everyone?
Well, I was all right until I didn't get a fucking doorbell.
I forgot about the door. I didn't know it was important to you, if I'm honest, Nick. If you want, I can. Do you want to drop?
You know what, Nick? I never got one either.
It's fine. Yeah, fine.
Good to see you, Brian. Stay there, mate. Nick. Anyone want to take over the Eric Dyer? Can you improve on a 5 from Dermatron?
No, I think it was
pretty 5 is a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Alan, you're going to give him a 5 as well, are you?
Yeah, pretty accurate. I think there was a time in that game as well. For everything Dermot said, there was a time in the game where he lunged in for the ball, got caught out of position, and then they were like 4 on 3 at the back against us. He looks better in the team with Romero beside him. Looks calmer since he becomes shaky. But like we said, Sanchez has come in and actually has done better. For me, Eric Dyer, it wasn't the best performance from him. So yeah, I'd give him a 5. Nothing more than that.
Wow. And Nick, you think that's harsh, do you?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play. He didn't. I mean, it's where you're. If we're sitting there,
if Sanchez gets an 8,
Sanchez gets an 8, and Dyer gets a 5.
I'm not sure that's fair. But if
Sanchez a 7,
if Sanchez gets a 7, then maybe Dyer gets a 5.5, 6. I don't know. He was worse than Sanchez, but I don't know. 5. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, and this is what I mean, right? Because people go crazy over Sanchez, but and obviously if Romero was on the pitch, they wouldn't be saying, and Romero hasn't played amazing, especially that first half against Southampton, in patches against Chelsea. Obviously, we know what he did with Cucurella's hair and everything else. But yeah, I think if we forget about the performance, we just go on to. I'm not saying anyone here or anyone in the comments, but we go on to this narrative of, it's Dyer's shit, Davis's shit, Hojbjerg's shit, but we can't sit there and say the guy had a good game, and because that's feeding that thing. And I think 5. I've seen 4s, and I'm just like, guys, that's pretty harsh.
Right.
4 out of 10 is pretty harsh. And
to keep a clean sheet and to give to someone suggesting. Eddie Ryan, we haven't got there yet, but Eddie Ryan thinks that Davies gets a 3 out of 10. I thought Davies was good last night.
If you're talking giving a player a 5 out of 10, to me, they've got to be making mistakes all game. And yeah, Dyer wasn't great. We know that, but he wasn't a 5. He was probably a 6.5 for me.
All right, let's split the difference and give it a 6. So give him a 6. All right. Is that fair for everyone? All right, we're going to move on to Ben Davies. Let's bring Brian in for this one, mate. Ben Davies. Just the stats, you can call them out as you're going through it if you want. Let me hear your thoughts on Davies' performance?
I don't need to look at the stats. As you'll see, I don't know because we're down here. If you've seen my the name I've come on as today, I've changed the name of my channel to the Hotspur Globetrotters on tour because we play such wonderful football, and we have to say it's just a thing of beauty, and you can't say a player cannot have a bad game. You can't say it. Any player. So everyone yesterday, it was like watching Brazil in the late 70s, early 80s. The free-flowing, beautiful, swashbuckling, attacking, wonderful football. Ben Davies, like the rest of the squad, 10.
Finally, Brian's come up to speed.
Welcome, Brian.
Brian's had all that candy
beautiful.
Welcome to
everyone played absolutely superb. Not a foot wrong. Wonderful football. I have seen the light. This is where we go forward. It's
about time, mate. Come on,
mate. It's like, you know what I felt like yesterday? I felt like, you know, when you've seen those videos on Facebook and YouTube, when the families or the teachers get the colourblind guy the glasses, and they put the glasses on and they can see colour for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought yesterday.
You're there now.
I've realised that I am completely deluded. The whole time, wonderful performance. Delighted with everyone. They played top draw. Okay, now the humour's over.
I'm just about to say, Brian, the longer you're going on, the less I'm believing you now.
Yeah.
Let's get back to listen. It wasn't a great game yesterday. And anyone that said we played brilliant and it was wrong. Ben Davies, listen, the defence for me, we kept the clean sheet. So that basically a defender's job is to keep a clean sheet, and they did it. But what I did see yesterday is the team, especially in defence, there was unforced errors. There were sloppy passes, and yes, they kept the clean sheet. I think Ben Davies was the best out of the three defenders again. Obviously, I've missed out what the ratings you did before, so I don't know like how to parallel. But if we were giving Sanchez an 8, then I'm Sanchez I always stick by. I'm going to give Ben Davies a 7. I'm going to give Ben Davies a 7.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair summing up. I mean, you know, none of our defenders were fantastic, but you know, to drop them below 6.5, 7, I think it's pretty cruel. Especially when you've got a clean sheet. You know, it's like saying our strikers have scored a goal, but they didn't do the job. So we've kept a clean sheet. That's what them guys are there for. So yeah, I would fully agree with that. 7.3. I don't think 7.3 is out of it, but yeah. You know, I mean, when you look at his stats, 43 touches, 88% accurate passes, so 29 out of 33.
Far fewer touches.
Yeah,
fewer touches than Sanchez. Look at that. It's ridiculous. It's almost like 80% down on Sanchez.
Yeah, but what he did was better, wasn't it?
I don't know. Was it? I mean,
88% accurate passes, 3 long shots attempted, three got there.
Yeah, his long balls were better. Yeah, definitely long balls.
You know, so
clearances 3. Sanchez got 10 clearances. Obviously, like this is what I was saying earlier. Ben Davies in this particular game had his hotspot was, if you look, was far further down. Which, if you then remember back what we were saying earlier about how the average over the 4 games, how more advanced his hotspot was, then it showed you in the previous 3 games that he's really spending most of his time on the halfway line, which is why I think Sonny is getting a little bit crowded out on the left-hand side. But anyway, I digress.
Sorry, Sean, I've got to pop off. I've just got a bit of an emergency here, so I have to pop off, brother. Sorry.
All right, Dermotron, I love you, my man. Well, just quickly, what's your Ben Davies score?
I'll give him a 6.5, and I'll give Dyer a 6 as well. So I up that. I'll give Dyer a 6 and Davies 6, both of them 6.
Love it. Cheers, Dermotron. Love you, my man. Speak to you soon.
Sorry about this, Sean.
That's all right, no problem. I've got your channel in the description, and I'll plug it again afterwards for you, my man. I know you got to go.
All right, lovely. And
cheers,
thanks,
bro.
Big up, Brian. It's been just quickly, Brian. It's been a while since I've seen you since we've got the tattoo done. So
yeah, well done. Big up to yourself, Dermot, for being a man of your word. Big up.
Yeah, actually, the missus liked it. Actually, I have to say.
Well, put another bet on with me, and we'll put another tattoo on.
No, I'm done with them now, Brian. That's it. Never again.
Cheers, Dermo. Love you, man.
See you later. Take care. Sorry.
Sorry, buddy. Cheers. So what are we going for, guys? What did we get to? Was it a solid 6.5, 7?
6.5, 7, yeah.
I would say 7.
7,
yeah. 7? Okay. All right. Tom Marcannon with a super chat saying Ben Davies saved a goal. Deflected shot on target. That's absolutely right. I was watching the extended highlights again this morning before we went live. He did. That one that grazed against his back. Yeah, he did save a goal. 100%. 100%. That was that block shot, wasn't it? It's there. That was the block shot that ended up going wide. Yeah, I think on that basis, maybe 7.5, 7.5, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's all just fun and games anyway. Let's move to Emerson Royale with cheese. 90 minutes played, 70 touches, ground duels 1, 3 from 7, aerial duels 3 from 6, lost the ball 16 times. Did give the ball away quite a lot, right? But when we start, who do I start with? Let's go to who hasn't had a chance to say one first yet. Soren, you haven't said one yet. First, what's your talk me through Emerson Royale?
I don't think there's a lot to say really about this one. I'd probably drop it down to a 6.1, 6.2. He's one of those players to me that you kind of, I don't know. I just don't have an opinion on this guy anymore. I'm 6. I don't think we'll go below a 6, but he's 6 is probably been generous still. So yeah, that's as much as I want to say on him. Sorry.
No, I can't really remember him doing too much right or too much wrong. It's one of those kind of a bit nothing performance. Alan, do you want to have anything to say about him?
So last season, I was one of his biggest critics. I said, people say about the eye test, I said he hurts my eyes watching him play football. That's how bad he was last season. In regards to this season, he's improved defensively, but he still provides nothing going forward. His balls in are poor. Even yesterday, some of the times playing out from the back and all that, we got ourselves into a bit of trouble on the right-hand side because him and Sanchez were a bit slow with the ball and he wouldn't clear it. He'd pass to Sanchez to clear it. And it just, they kept it pressed in. So for me, it's a very hard one to judge with him. I'd go 5. My honest opinion. I'm
not going to argue with it, to be honest. I go back and forth with Emerson. Sometimes I think he's hard done by. Other times I think he's improving. Then the next week, I think against Chelsea, he was exposed. And I don't know. Let's just move on.
I don't think there's anything new to say about him, is there? That we haven't all been saying. That's the thing.
Perisic, though, there's got to be some positives here, surely. I think the rating that he's been given here, 6.7, is criminal. I think he was brilliant. His crossing was spectacular.
I thought it was his worst game. I genuinely thought it was his worst game. He was giving the ball away. You seen, look, if we're talking about accurate passing as well, I don't think it was.
Yeah, that's true.
I watching the game, let's just say I was disappointed. So if we talk about where we expect Perisic, where we expect Son, and where we expect Kane, whereas what we're expecting, our expectations are higher
versus reality. Yeah,
and I don't think it didn't match up to what we've kind of seen.
It's interesting,
in the previous few games. So, look, Sandro is
that's fun because mate, you know what? I'm looking at the stats and I'd hear what you're saying. When I watched it, like the stats here will say that he had 2 unsuccessful crosses, but both of the crosses that he put in were in delicious areas.
That's what it's become, Sean. We've been so devoid of decent crosses. So when a cross goes in,
that's in the area I should have been, but I wasn't expecting it to be there.
Exactly.
Because look, I know we jumped from Emerson, but Emerson did that against Chelsea. No one was expecting the balls to be in the box.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So that's the reason. So the same with Perisic. No one's expecting it because they haven't had any delivery in the box. So I
think the thing is, like they've just said, with Perisic, we've all built him up to be the saviour in this world player that we've brought in, and he's the next saviour and all this lot. And then he hasn't lived up to expectations in that match, so we're going to slate him. But the thing is with him, he's still at that stage where when he's on the ball, we're expecting something to happen. We're all willing it to happen. Where he just isn't. He just hasn't settled in properly yet. But you do see the difference in class with what he is doing. He might not be necessarily bringing it off, but you see the difference in the class of player compared to Sessegnon.
Yeah. All right. So what are we going to give him then? Is it a 6?
Joe, for me in this game, Perisic was better defensively than he was attacking.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the Wolves game, he was just sublime everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think I think like we said, he's still getting used to the Premier League. So getting up and down, listen, he can do this easily, but it's just every game is so different in the Premier League. It's not like Italy where you have the big ones and it's for me. I think I've seen a few people in the comments saying 5, 6, 7. I think I'll put it Dangs back in the middle. I will put it as a 6. Defensively is good. Offensively, I'm speaking American. Attacking wise, he was attacking wise. I have to correct myself.
Why use one word when 2 will do?
Yeah, no, mate. I'm falling into the trap. I'm saying a few North American words. I have
all
to
good.
step out of it.
Offensively, yeah.
So yeah, I think attackingly,
it's interesting. Everyone's saying the same. Everyone's like agreeing with Barry and you guys. I walked away from the game thinking maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
I must not have been, and I wasn't even drinking. I had no drinks. #0 drinks. So I don't know what was going on.
See, I'm a bit. I don't understand this. Like a lot of this criticism coming because we've all said he done a good job defensively, but the time he got forward, he put 2 good balls in, and no one was there to meet it. You can't criticise him. The attacker should have been there to meet the ball.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't think he was as good as he was against Wolves. So for me, I think people saying 5 is a bit harsh. I would have gone for a 6.5 myself.
Yeah, 6.5, I reckon. Yeah.
I can't criticise him for doing his job, and people were not in the box to meet the ball.
All right, so we're going to settle on a 6 then. I think we have to find wiggle room. We have to accommodate everyone. Let's move on to this man. Now, this one's weird because for me, I thought that Rodrigo Bentancur was poor, but having watched everyone else's post-match reactions, everyone was close to giving him man of the match. So, and looking at the stats, I think both him and Hojbjerg were probably better. I mean, I thought Hojbjerg was brilliant anyway, but
Yep.
you know, two clearances, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions, 1 tackles, gave the ball away 9 times, touched the ball 60. I don't know, 88% pass accuracy. A lot of people were saying he should be man of the match. I was like, definitely not man of the match. I thought he was a solid 7, but I don't remember him doing too much. I remember Hojbjerg doing a lot more. I remember Bentancur just being there, being steady, present, ever present, just passing the ball, working it around, but never really doing too much. But I might be completely wrong. So who wants to take on the Bentancur conversation? Brian?
One thing I will say about him, he was running around and closing down a lot. You know, that's one thing. If every time their goalie had it, he was running into, to get the game moving again. So, I don't think he was anywhere near man of the match. I don't think he's hit the ground running yet, but I would have said 6.5 for him.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got any thoughts on Bentancur? I thought he was like just kind of invisible, if I'm honest. I don't remember him doing very much. So like, I'll give him a solid. He clearly participated, and clearly no one else has got anything to say about him either. So
you know what? Obviously, people will know when it comes on to the next player. My love for Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, who yesterday was brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Was brilliant. I've been saying this on a couple of channels yesterday, and the problem I've had, they both perform well, but I've been saying since the start of the season, our midfield is getting overrun. This is, I think, it's having a huge impact on like our first half performances, where we should be, apart from Chelsea, these first 3, the Wolves, the Southampton, and this one, are games you would have thought we should have put in a commanding performance. Not necessarily but for 90 minutes, but a lion's share of it. And we seem to be, especially against Chelsea, we were completely dominating the midfield. And I think there's a game we've got to see. I would love to see a first half where we start with Bentancur, Hojbjerg, and Bissouma to say, right, let's close this midfield down. Let's have an extra man in midfield because the attack are doing their bits. I'm sure you spoke about the hot topic, which is ridiculous.
What's the hot topic?
Heung-min Son and this whole drop.
We haven't got there yet.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so
we have spoken a bit about him. We have, but not. We'll get to him.
So we'll get it. But I think we the midfield has been so overrun. I would love to see for one half or start a game with the three of them, just to say, right, Bissouma go and do something like he did with Kane to one of their players, and then you got Bentancur, and then we got three players that can get the ball forward. I've not been happy with our first half performances, and I'm shocked.
Who is it you want dropped for to make way for three in the midfield?
Do you know what? This is the thing.
Rotated, rested, whatever. Yeah,
exactly. Now a lion's share of people right now would probably say Heung-min Son to give him a rest.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That is the word for him. Give him a rest.
Yeah.
That is it. We now have the luxury of having these players to play a different formation so players can rest. That's how we're going to win things, by resting players and keeping them fit and sharp.
Well, so you'd go Kulu and Kane up front by themselves.
You could do that, or you could drop Kulu and have Son and Kane up top. Maybe them two up top again could reignite what they have. That's the thing. Right? You've got the options. I mean, if it was to be West Ham, I would love to see Richarlison start because of his shit housery and the shit that he'll do there.
I'd have no issues going a little bit bonkers mad and rotating. The verbiage is so important. Rotating, like put Kulusevski and Sonny on the bench, put Richarlison and Kane up front, and then go as a five in midfield, and just because I think that they are going to dominate. West Ham will dominate the midfield. They will absolutely put 3 or 4 across the mid, and I think that we should go toe to toe with them. If Bissouma's ready, put Bissouma, Hojbjerg, and Bentancur, and then Richarlison and Kane up front, and they won't expect that. They won't plan or prep for that. And then
I might say something that might get a couple of weird looks here, but if you were going to go to a 3-5-2, why would it be anything like dropping Kulusevski or so on? Why would you not drop Royal and have Kulusevski do a right wing back job? Because he'd done the job quite well against Man City away from home last season when he had to help Royal out because Royal back then his confidence was shocking.
That's fine too.
And also for me yesterday, the amount of times I saw Nottingham Forest defenders be able to pass to their midfields by passing our midfield because there's only 2 in midfield. Against the bigger teams, Chelsea should have beat us heavily on that day. And I think the more we play with this just 2 in midfield, we're going to get found out. Unless we sit all the way back like we did against City and Liverpool and counter, I think we're just going to come unstuck against the bigger teams this season. It just doesn't seem to be as well oiled as last season for whatever reason.
I mean, the thing is, what we forget is last season we did play three in midfield quite a lot. You know, there were quite some times, and you know, I mean, if we're going to get onto it, you know, it doesn't matter how well Hojbjerg plays, people are going to slate him because they just don't see what he does for us. So, you know,
let's just quickly before you carry on, then Soren, just to round this off. So we're giving Rodrigo a 6.5.
I'll go slightly higher. I'll probably give him a 7. Yeah,
I'll give him a 7. All right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's reasonable. Just to get it on my list, for my tactics. And then Hojbjerg, we're moving on to now. Carry on, Soren. Talk about Hojbjerg as much as you want, bro. I know how much you love that man.
I'm not going to talk about him long because I think, you know, if you're going to rate our players and rate them without what's the word? Can't think of the word. You know, without bias, then Hojbjerg does a damn good job for us, and he's not the most elegant player, you know, and I've got to admit that. He's not the most skillful player, I'll admit that. But what he does very well. And without him in our midfield, we would have lost a lot more games. You know, and that's all I'm going to say. You know, that there's got to be a reason every manager that we're having is picking him, and he's in there and he doesn't get substituted. So if he's not getting substituted, that means the manager's happy with his performance. If the manager's happy with his performance, he's got to be doing something right. Full stop.
Just quickly before we carry on, there's a few people asking about Bentancur's injury. He got that whack to the head, didn't he? And he got taken off.
Yeah.
And he wanted to come back on. He wanted to shake it off, but they wouldn't allow him to late on in the game. So we don't even know if he'll be back in time. Someone, I think Bob Spur, put up a message earlier saying that Pape Sarr is now off of the list.
Yeah, sure he is. But I think the thing is, if Skip returned to training today, if Skip's obviously is a few weeks away, I reckon, from being ready to start. So that only leaves Bissouma and Hojbjerg really in midfield. So that's going to be the reason why
Sarr can't go anywhere.
Sarr can't go anywhere really, because we haven't got anyone else really. There's obviously Alfie Devines looks like he's going to go, like you said, and I can't see it being. We don't want to kind of shoehorn in and Kulusevski in there or someone else in there that
keep him.
Is not going to. So maybe it'll be a blessing in disguise, right? Because we haven't seen him. If he needs to, come on and do something, we're going to actually see what we paid for rather than sending him out on loan again.
100%. 100%. Back to Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. For me, he was the man of the match. Just quickly, everyone, crosses, 100%. Long balls, all right, 40% accuracy. Dribbling, he dribbled the ball twice and was brilliant with them both times. Lost the ball 12 times from 81 touches. I think just compare that. How many touches did Bentancur have? I mean, almost 40% more. He was much more involved in the game. He did have 3 key passes, clearances as well, block shots, interceptions. He was everywhere. He was defending really well. He was bringing the ball forward, playing the ball forward. For me, Hojbjerg was the man of the match, and I would give him at least an 8.5. I
mean, let's not forget though, Sean. When you read some of the comments in the thing, and people when they're talking about Hojbjerg, he obviously goes out at the beginning of the match just to make little short passes to put his stats up. That's obviously, that's his thing because he wants the stats.
He learned one thing from Harry Winks, and that is how to pad the stats.
Yeah, he basically saw what you were saying about him. Thought, do you know what? I know how to screw him up and increase my sofa score rating. I'm going to go and do some short passes. Get my stats up, and then Soren can't say anything about me.
No, I'm a fan of Pierre.
Soren loves him. It's Adam William Cahill that can't stand Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Adam was supposed to be on the show today, but I think he walked away because he's busy, Sean. I can't make it.
I think Hojbjerg, to be fair, the last 3 games has been our man of the match.
And everybody it's Danny Kiriakou.
Let's just quickly move on. I'm going to give Danny first crack on the next one, but are we happy with Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg getting 8.5?
100%.
Man of the match.
7.5.
Well,
7.5 for you, Alan, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, he'd done everything well, but there was times in that game where he was quite out of position and his passing isn't always as good as it was. It says there he lost possession 12 times. Yep. That's the highest I've seen so far, I think, from everything he'd done there. And sometimes he does it at least once a game where he passes out of play when it's a simple ball on. I've seen the last 2 games back to back. For me, he's a good player. He does dirty work, and I think that's why the managers love him. Mourinho, Conte, because there's that dogged midfield that's going to do all the dirty work to enable the players like we've got to be able to play on the front foot, like when we counter-attack. So I can see why he's in the team, but there was problems there as well as everyone else. But I think people like to, when they see a man-of-the-match performance, forget the bad stuff they did also.
Yeah, true. But you haven't given a higher score to anyone else. Your ratings are just, like, on average, lower than everyone else's. So
exactly. It's the thing. For me, I think out of everyone, I've still given Hojbjerg the highest rating for the match.
Yeah. Okay. Danny, welcome to the stream.
Good afternoon.
Welcome, mate. Welcome. Do you have anything you want to say about Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg? Let me ask you this. Do you agree with the idea that Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg is worried that Bissouma is going to take his spot and has stepped up and has jumped up and gone, fuck you, no one's taking my space, and he's put on the best performances over the last few games, and that same mindset should be something that we would hope to see from Sonny when he reflects on the threat that Richarlison poses to his team.
You could say that. I think if you want to play for Spurs, you should expect that you shouldn't be guaranteed a starting spot no matter who you are. That's where we want to be, right? You want to be a team that's ambitious so that we can go and actually win some things. Because if you don't expect that, then I'm sorry, we're not going to ever win things. This is my opinion, right? So yeah, it probably does think, okay, there's more people to challenge him for the spot now, so he's got to up his performance. Me personally, I think Hojbjerg was man of the match. I think Kane obviously won the game for us, right, because of his 2 great goals. But in retrospect, what Hojbjerg did yesterday, I think people forgetting some of the key passes that he made, that those 2 chances that he created, that the players in those positions didn't take their chance, right?
Yeah.
So if those players had taken their chance, he would have got 2 assists. So we can talk about hindsight, right? So for me personally, I think Hojbjerg was brilliant yesterday. Yeah, he might have lost the possession twice, but how many times do other people lose possessions, right? So for me,
a few more times than that. Well, he didn't necessarily lose it. I think like the lost possession just means he's passed and it hasn't quite made it to the intended receiver,
Yeah, but
and that's not always necessarily the person,
it's not.
the fault of the passer. It could be the fault of the receiver. You know?
Yeah. So for me, man of the match yesterday, 100%. I think he was brilliant.
All right. Well, yeah. On that basis, we're gonna give him. If we agreed on Sanchez being an 8, we have to give him at least an 8.5. Sorry, Alan. We're trying to find the middle ground for everyone.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the front 3. Kulusevski. Who wants to take this one first? Okay, with Danny, you're brand new, mate. Go on, take away. What do you think of Kulusevski?
Yeah, I think he was pretty good yesterday. I don't think he was like his usual electric self, but I think in terms of our creative front 3, he was the best out of the 3. Where Kulu got most of his kind of like where he created most danger was when he was drifting inside and he was becoming central into the pitch. So for the Kane goal, what he did was he picked up that ball that bounced off one of their midfielders, right?
Yeah.
He then drove into the middle of the pitch. He wasn't on the right or the left. He then reversed the pass to Harry Kane, and Harry Kane took a touch and scored, right? Just outside the
What
box.
a sublime pass it was as well.
It was a unbelievable.
The more difficult of the passes. He had Sonny in front of him, and he decided to go back.
He was, and if you watched Kulusevski closely yesterday, where he was most threatening was when he was driving through the centre. And me and Marlon in the studio yesterday, in We Are Tottenham TV studio, we were both saying that we were saying that he should have transformed the formation and played 2 up top and gone with Kulu right behind him and played Son and Kane up top, because Kulu was causing all sorts of problems when he was playing in that number 10 kind of role.
Do you think he could become the number 10 if we need to go that way?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, okay. It was great yesterday. It was great.
Anybody else got anything meaningful to say about my man Decky?
Yeah, but you know what it is as well. We'll talk about this heavily when we talk about Son. Kulusevski has set such high standards for himself in the very, very short time that he's been here, that if he doesn't have an assist or a few shots on goal or a little bit of showboating, everyone's like, well, he had a bad game. He didn't do anything. He has set himself such high standards. This wasn't one of his best games. It was still a good game, but it's not the Kulusevski that we're used to seeing on a regular basis. But he still got the job done. He still offered bits, but he was great against Southampton, and I don't think he's been very good in any of the other games by his high standards. So I'd probably give him a 6.5.
All right. Consensus from the comments is 7. Sounds like
agree with that.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian. We're gonna go to a 7.
People disagree with me. I've never been in this kind of environment before.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please smash, if you haven't already, if you just joined or if you recent incomer into the stream, please smash the like button for me and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Mean the world for my channel, for you guys to show some engagement metrics or whatever they call it on the old algorithm. We're going to call that a 7 for Decky. Let's move on to dong. How do we want to spell? I might as well put a whole nother segment in here. This could take an hour and a half.
No, what you do need to do is you need to put a disclaimer.
Yeah,
you need to put a disclaimer which says you can say Son had a bad game, but
without
is
saying
still
I don't like him. Yeah.
You can say you don't go to prison. It's not treason if you say Son had a bad game.
Yeah, hang on. What's the time? Will Stewart and C Cubed, the Son police, are going to be out if you say anything bad, right?
C Cubed, who's that?
He had a bad game. A bad game by his standards.
Yeah.
Listen, we have had it for 7 years. This guy has been a phenomenon for us, an absolute phenomenon that has got, every time we've been in shit, has found a way to dig us out of it. He is allowed to have bad games because he got the golden boot. You see what Chelsea do; they are they have upped their game on making sure they keep him quiet. He was marked out of Chelsea by Reece James. It was a wonderful tactical ploy that Chelsea executed, and it worked to the letter. The 4 games he's played, he has not been at the absolutely extraordinarily high settings or standards that he sets.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's okay. He's a human being. He can have bad games. The shit where people are saying he's fucking useless, get him out of the club and get real money for him. Needs to.
Well, people, you've seen people saying sell Sonny.
All on the We Are Tottenham, mate. Use it on Twitter, everything. It is ridiculous. And these are the same people. These are the same people that last season would have been going mad at the Premier League and saying they're racist and for not putting him in Team of the Year. It's the exact same people. He can have a bad game. You can get up tomorrow and have a bad day at work. Doesn't mean you get the sack.
I have them most days.
Shit happens.
Fortunately, I'm the boss, so no one can sack me apart from me.
He is not. He is not at his high standards. Will he get back to them? Yes, he bloody well will. For once in his whole career, we now have Richarlison, who listen.
Why do you? Well, before we move into what we should do managing his form, what do you think is the source of his form? Is it just is he just having is he just like off the pace, or is it because he's threatened by Richarlison? Is it his dad putting pressure on him? Is it he's injured? He's tired? Is it the training regime? What do you think it is that is contributing?
I've said this to you, and I've said this privately to you. I've said this on hundreds of streams. Heung-min Son is overplayed and undervalued. And when I say undervalued, I don't mean financially. I mean, if he's fit, he plays. If he's fit, he plays. If he's fit, there's never he has to play. There's never been and up until now, there's never been an option. If someone had said right now we have Vincent Janssen and Vincent Janssen was going to come in for Son, there would be an absolute uproar for obvious reasons. You look at all these top teams, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, the Cities that regularly, constantly win things. Why?
They rotate. Yeah.
Boom. That's what they do. I don't see.
Yeah, but Sonny, forget about like what the fans want or what the fans are demanding, or whether the fans are like hyperbolic or one side of the coin or the other. I think we have to recognize and respect that he is a human being, and we don't know what he's like. Like, he's obviously very successful. He's obviously very talented, very hardworking, a brilliantly happy person. But I think we have to acknowledge we haven't seen him smile in a game for 4 games, and people react to pressure in different ways. He has never been dropped ever from the South Korean team, because no one's going to take his place there. And I can't remember the last time he was ever dropped, rotated, rested, whatever. Pick your adjective for removing him from the first team that you want. But I think he's struggling with the idea that he's not that his place is under threat, because he has never had to worry about it ever. Not in any form of football for the last 10 years. Since he came in, he's basically been number one choice, or at least in the last 5 years. And that's going to be difficult for some people no matter how much of a professional he is or how brilliant he is at his job. Some people react to things in different ways. And I don't know who it is, but somebody at Tottenham needs to manage it. And I personally think the solution would be, if you are going to rest him, rotate him for the West Ham game, he shouldn't be the only person that's rotated. I think the best way to manage it would be to include his rotation along with other people, whether it's Ben Davies for Longley, even though Ben Davies played well, whether it's Doherty for Emerson, whether it's Basuma, whoever. I think that if you pick the West Ham team and it's exactly the same, apart from Sonny for Richarlison, I think that will weigh heavy on Sonny's conscience, on his mind. And I think it will be a little bit easier for Conte to sit down with him and say, listen, against West Ham, or whenever the conversation has to happen, I'm going to go with Richarlison. But look, it's not just you. I'm doing this as rotation, and you can see that because I'm also going to be changing out. I'm taking out Sanchez. I'm bringing back Romero. I'm taking out Longley. I'm taking out Davies. I'm bringing in Longley. I think that it's a little bit of a softer cushion to land on if Sonny is part of several changes than just him alone. Otherwise, he will think of it as being dropped rather than being rotated. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. But the thing is with it as well is you look at it. Haaland scored a hat-trick at the weekend. Gets taken off to rest him, ready for the next game. Haaland. You look at Mahrez. Mahrez has hardly started for City. They bought in Calvin Phillips. Hardly started. They're not bitching, moaning, the fans. I'm going, oh my God, you spent this. It's part of modern day football. If you want to, you say that about.
Yeah, but Ryan, forget about the fans, because none of our opinions really matter, right? Forget about whether the fans are pissed off. How do you rotate Sonny without Sonny taking it the wrong way?
So the way you do it is you say, listen, son, look at these players at Liverpool, Chelsea. How many in the time that you've been at Tottenham? How many trophies have they won?
Zero.
How many trophies have they won? How fit are they when they're playing? Oh, they've won X, Y, Z amount for each respective club. Obviously, Man City and Liverpool right now are streets ahead. And you go, well, how many trophies have you got to take home and show your dad and show your family and look back on you? This is part of modern day football. Unfortunately, it's not back in the 80s where you had 11 players, 2 subs. And
so it's on Sonny to just man up then.
Yeah. For me, it's got to be. I completely get where you're coming from. Where this is new territories with him, especially when you look at career. He could have a huge injury before the World Cup.
He's godlike in his home country.
He's beyond God. He is beyond God.
Yeah.
Even, you know, like when we've had World Cups where Beckham and Rooney have had their metatarsals. Same with Son. If he was to do that and he was only slightly fit, he still goes to the World Cup. Anything, he goes. He's got to understand you are the golden child of your country, and rightly so. And you are loved by us Spurs fans, by the proper Spurs fans that understand what he's doing and what he's done for the club. He is loved. But you're going to have to learn. If you want to look back and say, I've won trophies, and you've gone to finals and been able to perform at your top ability because you're fit, because you're fresh, you're going to need to add this to your game, and especially with him getting older.
Yeah, I get it, mate. I love what you're saying. Like, give him the hard truth is at the end of the day, like, the team's bigger than you, mate. I just worry personally, and I'll let somebody else, anyone else wants to come in and take over my stance this one. But I just worry, like, what is the collateral damage of resting or rotating Sonny in a way that allows his mindset, his mentality to interpret that in a way that doesn't bode well for his confidence? Is there a way that you can do it where it's a softer landing for him? Because that's all I worry about. Like, I know that we should all just say, look, fucking hell, mate, you ain't playing well, and the team's bigger than you, so get over it. But look what happened with Ronaldo. Ronaldo gets dropped at Man United and he throws his toys out the fucking pram, and now he wants to leave. Like, we don't want anything like that to happen with Sonny. So I just wonder, like, what's the best mechanism to rotate in a nice enough way that Sonny's not going to sulk?
I don't think that's going to happen with Son. I don't think he's that type of person to moan. If he does and proves me wrong, then obviously he's got 2 sides to him that we haven't seen. He's got other sides to him. I think it's just a point. I think a couple of people said it in the comments that other people in this team that haven't performed are like, you're not performing out, you go, I think it's the same. You really, like, we've dropped Emerson at times. Who else is in the middle got dropped, like, when they just weren't good enough? Let's go back to the times of, like, Winks, when he was, like, I think he weren't performing, he got dropped. Obviously, he's much better than them. He's going through a poor run of form. And like I said, you're bringing in people to make the squad better and squad decent. But if the people who are in the team are still performing poorly and the people on the bench aren't getting a chance to come in and perform, the people on the bench will be like, what's the point? He's there dropping 4 or 5 out of 10. I've been playing well when I come off the bench and I'm not even getting the thing. And then you have the whole squad lose morale rather than one person.
Yeah, that's a good point as well.
So for me, it's one of them where it's just like looks on, we know how good you are, but it's just not quite clicking at the moment. And then it could be, like I said, it could be the shot in the arm, like, or kick out the butt for him to come back to what he does. But he does this every season, somewhere he has a couple of bad performances and then goes on the long run. And I think it's just a case of getting to that moment where it clicks for him.
Love that, mate. Yeah, you're right. There's more things to consider than just Sonny's mindset. It's other players as well. Love that, mate. What did we say we were going to give him, guys, out of 10 on the game?
5.
Yeah, I'd go with that. The only other thing I'd say, Sean, and then I'm going to shut up on this, is
go on.
You know when you use Ronaldo as an example, and it's a prime example to use, but the difference with Ronaldo and Son is Ronaldo has played in the Champions League, apart from this season, every single season in his career. He has won pretty much every single thing you could win in football.
Yeah.
With his ego, and what if he says, "Listen, I can back this shit up. Look what I do. Look at my records." He's got the right to have a bit of an ego problem and a bit of because he can say, "Listen, what you're doing. Look what I've done. Look who I am." But you're. I completely agree with what you're saying. I completely agree.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo's one is a
you're
hard
right.
one to use.
I wasn't like suggesting it's apples and apples. It's probably apples and oranges. But yeah, listen, I think I don't know, mate. I'm not like a fucking sport. There must be some sports psychologist that we've employed. Surely we've got one of those knocking around who could be asked, "What's the best way to do this that has the most limited collateral damage to either Sonny's confidence or the rest of the teams?"
Yeah.
So we're going to give him a 5. Harry Kane, Nick, I'm going to come to you, and then I'll come to Danny Kiriakou. I don't know what happened to Sorin, by the way. Sorin just dropped off and he never came back. Oh, here we go. He's texted me. But I appreciate you coming on, Sorin. I thought he was going to come back on, but he didn't. Nick, so Harry Kane, look, I mean, SoberScore gives him an 8.4. We know why. 2 goals, right? Look,
I think it was if we look at what, yes, again, he's scoring. I guess in comparison to him and Sonny, that's the only difference. He's not been great, but he's scored 4 goals. So he's like we were saying about defenders are there to keep clean sheets. He's there to score goals. Disappointing when he was through for that second chance that Worrell came back. He didn't get the ball kind of out of his feet. The penalty is probably the poorest penalty I've ever seen him take. It was at the perfect height for the keeper to save it.
Yeah.
But again, in the right place at the right time. He switched. He didn't switch off when Richarlison obviously put that cross in. He had no one around him. He had plenty of time to kill the game. But yeah, I don't think you can't give him more than Hojbjerg just because of those 2 goals. Ultimately he could have had a hat trick by half time. And for me, it's an 8 probably for Kane. But yeah, apart from that, it didn't kind of flow. It was a kind of a disjointed. Although that first goal went in, and he had loads of time, he actually mishit it, and I'm not having anyone say that he meant to do that, because there's no way he meant to do that. So
100%, I agree with that as well. I thought, look, we were very wasteful as a team going forward. We kept breaking away second half, but we were very wasteful up front. And I think, Kane obviously gets his 2 goals, probably got the man of the match from Sky Sports, but I don't think he actually was brilliant on the day. Danny,
yeah,
what are your thoughts, my man?
Yeah, I'd say he's an 8. I think he won us the game with his crucial goals. His all-round play was awful. His touch was awful during the game. He just couldn't control a ball yesterday to save his life. It wasn't a normal Harry Kane performance, to be honest. But again, he came up with the crucial goals that won us the game. So I would say an 8, but it wasn't like an unbelievable game performance.
All right. Yeah, I think that I mean, it's not. I don't really want to talk too much about Harry Kane, but what I do want to do,
I want to talk about transfers because I got loads of news. But anyway.
All right. I've got to wrap up. The latest I can go to on this channel is 10 past 5.
I want to have a chat with you after we finish the show because there's certain things I can't say. But anyway.
Okay. Well, let's just get through the last sub super quickly. Then I'm going to give one person each. Let's give Alan Richarlison. I'm going to give Ryan Sessegnon to Nick. Going to give Yves Bissouma to Brian. and Jed Spence to Danny. Alan, what was your take and your rating for Richarlison?
So for Richarlison, it's anywhere between a 7 to 7.5. The thing that I like about Richarlison is that everyone said when he comes in, is he going to play well at Spurs? Is he going to, because obviously being first team at Everton, coming in off the bench, is he going to give it everything? Is he going to be this? Is he going to be that? Is he just going to cause problems? And he's been the exact opposite. When he's come on, he's given energy, enthusiasm. He's done everything he can to put his body on the line, like effort for the team when playing in that short periods of time. He's causing problems for teams. Obviously, shithousery, we say with him, what he's doing and all that, which winds teams up, get them off their game plan. And obviously, he's had some end product in the fact that he's assist for Kane yesterday, which led to the second goal to kill the game off. For me, I've got no qualms about Richarlison, and that's why I said anywhere between 7 to 7.5. I think he's done really well since coming in for Spurs.
Completely agree, mate. I was really anti the Richarlison signing when we first got him, just not on the player, but on the money we spent on him. But I've been turned over. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he's going to create so much shithousery. I fucking love falling in love with him every time I see him, and I want to see more from him. So you gave him a 7.5. I'll give you a 7.5 as well. I'll match that one. Nick, Ryan Sessegnon, thoughts? I know they all only got 16 minutes each, but. What are your thoughts on him, mate?
I think it was telling in terms of kind of what he did. I think obviously he lost the ball 4 times there. He had the perfect opportunity before obviously Richarlison put that cross in to just lay the ball on the plate for Kane. And again, unfortunately, he's not taking he with the way that Perisic is, he needs to come on, and he's been very disappointing since that Southampton game. I thought he was going to kick on. Okay. And he seems to have gone into his shell again. So I think, I'd even go as far as saying 5.5 for Cess, if I'm honest.
Very nervous player, isn't he? Like you're right. He seems to be like he's just just like my dog. 1 minute she's up for it, next minute she's a little timid little shit. And I want to see more. So you're giving him a 5, eh? 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
I would
okay.
say.
Fair enough. Yves Bissouma, Brian Daigle, only seen a little bit of him. Conte said in a recent press conference that he's not tactically fit, as in he's physically fit, but doesn't understand his system yet. What are your thoughts on him?
Again, like I said when I first came on, Sean, I really want to see him play in a 3. I think in a 3 he may be able to understand it. Maybe he's not understanding the 2. He's coming on. I am quite disappointed at the lack of minutes he's getting, especially now going into thick and fast action where you want him up to speed. I don't even know if I didn't even see him really do anything. I'm going to give him a 5, but that's solely because he didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I didn't see him do anything on this, to be honest. Yeah.
I mean, you can see by his heat map as well. Look, it's
touched the ball 13 times, gave it away 3 times. Not good, is it?
well, 3 out of 13.
How many minutes? He played 16 minutes, though. Come on, man.
No, I know, yeah, exactly. I know, but if you touch the ball 13 times, you don't want to see you give up. Like, it's more about percentages for me. Like, if you touch the ball, and when you're in the midfield, you can just do those little simple passes a lot of the time, back and forth to get your stats up. I'm not saying that that's why they do it. But.
If you add that relative, that's basically the same stats as what Hojbjerg got. If you add 16 minutes, the amount to an average of 90 minutes, he's basically getting the same as Hojbjerg. So you can't judge him on bloody 16 minutes. It's not enough to judge.
But you can look at the accuracy of his passes, right? 6 out of 9 passes, 67. Yeah. Gave the ball.
What I would say,
yeah, and I saw some of those passes, and if you remember, some of those passes, the players were in bad positions as well. So
that's true. That's true.
What I think he's made for the West Ham game.
He's going to play. Bentancur's injured. Have you not seen the news?
No, I haven't seen any updates.
Bentancur's got a concussion, right? So he's basically likely out to be. He's likely. Paul O'Keefe just admitted, right? So this is what some of the stuff I was going to tell you, which is public knowledge. Bentancur's likely to miss the West Ham game, so which means Bissouma will start because Papa Metassar's been taken off the market because we haven't got any other midfielders, right? So we're now having to rely on Papa Metassar as our other option now. A young kid who needs time to play, and they're going to rely on him now, right? You've then got Tanganga's not going on loan, which means we're not getting a centre back, right? And
Tanganga's not going on loan now.
No, it's not. Paul O'Keefe's confirmed it, and it relates to.
So it's just Brian Hill. So it's one more transfer, Brian Hill, and then whoever else in. Yeah.
And also there's I'll tell you the other stuff off the stream.
Okay. All right, Bob Spur, welcome back, mate. How you doing, Bobby?
All good, man. Literally just walked in after work, and I thought, you know what? I want to see some average-looking people.
All right, I'm gonna let both of you and Danny wrap up on the player ratings. And like I say, guys, the latest I can go is 10 5:15 max. I've got a call at 5:30. So, but we can talk for the next 20 minutes, half an hour about anything you want to talk about, Danny, with transfers and things.
I don't want to. I only want to talk off stage because.
So let's finish the stream, Sean, and let's get backstage. Yeah.
All right then. Okay. So very quickly then. Well, I'll let Bob Spur go then. Jed Spence, mate. I know he only played 8 minutes, but is there anything you saw in his 8 minutes that got you excited?
No, not really, man. It was only on for 8 minutes, wasn't it?
It was wonderful football. He ran, he put his left foot in front of the right foot. He did it very well.
I liked it. He made a good nutting run forward, didn't he?
Yeah, he ran, man. He ran.
The way his dreads floated through the air was just magical.
We're praising players because they can run.
I don't like his hair.
I don't
Not
like
too much.
I'm jealous. Super jealous.
No, man. 8 minutes. When has anyone? You know, if it was in the papers, it'd be like not available, not been.
Not worth talking about. Yeah.
He should have scored. Actually, I thought he should have scored.
Yeah, he should have done.
Would have been interesting to see how he celebrated. But for me, you can't mark him, man. Everyone was tired. Everyone was seeing out the game.
I know.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you something meaningful to comment on, Bobby, but you literally joined the stream at the very end. So
I've been spoken about Rich. About Richie, or as I like to call him, Boo Boo.
Oh, let's go on then. You want to talk about Richarlison? What would you like to say?
There we go. He was all right. He did well, man. I mean, the keepy uppies. You know, someone had did it against us, we would have hated it. But because he did it for us, we all want to jizz on his face. I think it was absolutely brilliant. I think you mentioned it, Sean. The fact that the shoulder barge was actually just as brilliant.
I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was such an important part of the little moment. Yeah, the
cross was great. It was a pass because there's no one around. Harry Kane. He has a lot more to do. I understand the narrative of putting him in front of Sonny for the West Ham game. I understand that purely because Sonny's a bit off the pace. But no one in their right mind is going to say Richarlison is a better player than Sonny. No chance.
No, of course not.
Right now he's a better option, and Sonny should be rested. But it shouldn't be a case of drop Sonny. I think Brian saw the messages on We Are Tottenham TV. Sell Sonny. Listen, a Liverpool, a Man United, a Chelsea, even Man City probably, all their fans would cream their pants if a Sonny came to their team. Yet we're suddenly that good a team that we could afford to offload someone who I consider one of the, if not the best left winger.
What do you mean? When you say offload, what do you mean? Like,
oh yeah, no, I mean move on.
But Brian was saying the same thing. Are there people out there that are saying sell Sonny out?
Sean,
it's huge.
2 words,
it's
man.
Huge.
2 words. Sell Son. Sell Son. Sell Son.
Who's saying that?
Honestly, man. Check it out. By the way, big up, Al. Never seen you, mate. Big up.
Yeah, by the way, Alan, mate, you've had an absolutely barnstorming debut, mate. Everyone in the comments has absolutely adored your input, mate. Well done. Welcome back every time and anytime you want. And we're going to be plugging your channel shortly. I haven't had the opinions of Nick and Brian and Danny and Bob on. I know Danny wants to get backstage and talk about the things that. Hello, who's that? Hello,
Brian showing his pussy off again.
Nice.
Always. Any attempt, any option, any given moment, I will show my pussy.
Listen, I know that there's. I saw Danny say it earlier on We Are Tottenham TV, so I know he's furious. I'm sure you want to get it off your chest, Danny. I'll let you guys go with it. But the only thing I did want to, I spoke about it earlier. Let me just get it up. The noise that was. Where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is. Fuck it. Basically, Brian Hill's 99% certain to be leaving and going to Valencia. Gattuso said that they're just waiting for Tottenham to finalise the replacement. And then the two noises out today. One of them is Ruslan Malinovsky desperate to come to Tottenham, but it's unlikely Tottenham are going to pay the money when they could probably do something else. And that something else is Dan James. I haven't heard your four opinions. Alan said no to it. I say no to it.
What are you talking about, mate? I'm delighted with this news. When this 150 million was injected, I guarantee you, Antonio Conte said, "Get me Dan James." All of us fans, when we were all talking about the players and the caliber of Champions League were coming, we all sat there, we all did streams. Don't lie and said,
I get it, Brian. But we're like taking a pinch of salt here. Go with me. Is it? Having seen how content Conte is with his front three, and that Richarlison was a £60 million player.
Content.
What, with the front three that he has?
He's not content. Trust me, he's not.
What, with Kulu, Kane, and Son?
He's not enough.
Yeah, but I know that. But what I'm saying is that he has Richarlison, and as yet has barely used him. I know it's only as yet. We're 4 games in.
Go on. I'm going to tell you this, right? Yesterday, we had one attacking player on the bench. You think Antonio Conte is happy going into 4 competitions in the Champions League with one attacker on the bench?
That's because Lucas Moura was in.
No. Lucas is gone, man. Trust is
he's going.
It looks like.
What, in the next 2 days?
We'll never know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Someone knows something. Well, then what's going on? Maybe we should this up and go.
Why do you think Lucas was not in the squad yesterday?
I thought he was injured. I thought he had a knock.
Yeah, he had a knock. No, he didn't have a knock.
He's not injured.
He was tapped up, was he, to go somewhere for a...
Why do you think there's so much? Why do you think there's so much?
Dan, you're saying so much, but with so little. I know you're not allowed to say, but you're saying like we're really between the lines.
I will tell you some things behind.
Oh yeah.
Just tell us what you're not allowed to say now.
There's a lot of talk. If you look at the right tabloids and the right headlines and the right Twitter pages, a lot of talk about Zaha as well.
I heard Zaha to Chelsea. Wait, but you're saying Brian Hill's going, and on top of that, you're saying
Brian Hill's not. You know, Gattuso said 99% sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because there's 1% chance that we don't get the player we want. If we don't get the player we want, it's not going to happen.
Oh, I don't like that.
And is the player that we want Dan James?
He's one of the players.
Yeah. Oh, Malinovsky, right?
No, it's not Malinovsky.
No,
Malinovsky's not coming to Spurs.
Stop it, Sean. He's not going to say it.
No. He can ask me questions, but I'll just give him cryptic answers. So.
Yeah, you're going to keep saying no until you then hesitate, and I go, "That's the one. That's the one we're going to get." Is it?
I'll give you a clue.
Is it Traore?
His name sounds like Minandro Jamiao.
All right, listen, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Let's get backstage so I can hear the real gossip. Unless there's anything else anyone wants to talk about, let me.
Cheers. See you later.
Robert, do you want to keep talking? But like I said, I've still got 10 minutes.
No, it's your show, man. No. Just I was listening to you on the way down, and
I thought there was going to be some transfer gossip to talk about, but I have to wrap it up in 10 minutes anyway. So.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. It's all. I just want to. One thing I do want to let off my chest. Oh, yeah. I don't know why that's not you, but the imbalance narrative within the fan base. I know, Sean, you said I don't care what the fans are saying when it came to Sonny, but there is that imbalance, and I put this in We Are Tottenham TV super chat earlier, and Liverpool v Palace. Liverpool were shit, but you know what? Sign of a good team, they get results when they're shit. Everton 0, Chelsea 1. Chelsea were shit, but hey, they got a result. Because you know what? That's what good teams do. Newcastle 3, Man City 3. Newcastle had Man City on the ropes. They're all this. But you know what? Man City, good team. They come back. 17 shots against Spurs is too much. Fulham had 14 shots against
Arsenal
Liverpool on the opening day.
Against Liverpool. Wow. Okay.
Against Liverpool on the opening day when they drew 2-2. This narrative of if you're a good team, you can still get points if you play shit is with every single club, but our fan base can't put that narrative to Spurs. We have been shit. We've been poor. But you want to overlook, a lot of the fan base want to overlook the fact we were brilliant against Wolves in that second half. There wasn't much to improve on. Of course, first half we were poor. But second half, we came out and should have won by more.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, yesterday.
We were wasteful.
Oh, Forest didn't have a striker. They should have scored more. Well, we should then put the same narrative to Spurs. Sonny should have scored. Harry Kane should have scored the penalty. If Nottingham Forest should have got 2 goals, we should have got 6.
Yeah, I agree. 100%, Bobby.
Imbalanced narrative within the Spurs fan base needs to get sorted out. It seems to be obviously, Sean, we're going to look at our own team under a bit more of a magnifier. And
I don't think it was that bad yesterday, mate. Like, I'll be honest. I'm going to let you carry on, but just to it quickly. Like, a lot of people were like, "This is Tottenham are fucking useless." I thought Tottenham's I thought we played better yesterday than we did against Wolves. I thought we played better yesterday than we did against Chelsea. I think we were better yesterday than we were against Southampton, and albeit apart from not taking our chances. And I think that no one's giving Nottingham Forest credit for putting on the fucking brilliant performance. Like, there's no easy games, Bobby, as you know, me and you both agree on, right? There's no easy games, and Nottingham Forest, that was their biggest game at the City Ground for 30 years in league football. Their crowd were amazing. I think we should be giving ourselves a little bit more of a pat on the back than we probably are.
We don't do. For some of the fans won't do that. I mean, Paul, big up Paul, always in the chat wherever we're. But yeah, we didn't get bad. We won 2-0, mate. But the thing is, the fact that the fan base are looking at this, some of the fan base, look, I ain't going to do a Sava. Some of the fan base looking at the performances and think we can do better because we know we can do better is a great thing, man. You know, the fact we know we can do better when we're beating teams 5-4s last season, we know we've got that in us. Don't get me wrong. We need better players. We need Sonny to wake up. We need Richarlison, hopefully, to perform like that for 90 minutes. We need Kane to up his game. We need better defenders. We need better wing backs, of course. But if other good teams can play shit and still put points on the board, and some of the fan base go, you know what, well done, sign of a good team. That same narrative should be used with the fourth best team in England from last season. Get a grip, man. Get a grip. It ain't doing
Love it, Bobby. Love that positivity. I really do, mate. I feel exactly the same as you. I thought that, and imagine how good we can, if we can get results whilst playing what some people think is badly. I think we were wasteful. I didn't think we played badly yesterday, personally. Danny, can we just, is it Carrasco? Is that the guy you're talking about? That's why your head, I can see the little smile on your face.
No, so Carrasco, so basically some of the stuff was that the name hasn't been released of the player that they're looking at. Carrasco is just obviously links that we've had before. The stuff that I've heard, Carrasco hasn't been mentioned yet, so maybe. But
you got somebody else. You got somebody else. So you can't
if you want my honest opinion, I don't think this is happening. I don't think Carrasco is going to happen. Look, you got to be honest here, right? Tottenham are looking at Dan James, seriously looking at Dan James, and you think they're going to go and able to get a Yannick Carrasco, who's a top player. You actually believe that? Come on.
I'm just loving the fact that Danny Kiriakou is like a new ITK.
I'm not an ITK. I just have sources who have got very good ties close to high people.
That makes you an ITK, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Because I don't like to. I'm not spreading the news to everyone else. I'm spreading it to close people I trust.
It's done.
I will be, guys. I will be listening in the background, and the second it's over, I'll be putting out cryptic, a little Easter egg hunt all over the Tottenham community for the rest of the afternoon. Don't worry about that. I'm only kidding, Danny. I wouldn't do that to you, man.
He would.
Guys, let's listen. I do have to, because I want to spend 10 minutes in the background talking to the boys, so I need to wrap it up because I have got work calls in 20 minutes. So thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Alan, let me get your link one more time for you, my man. You've been absolutely brilliant, breath of fresh air, buddy, on the channel today. Welcome, mate. You make your debut. I know that Bob Spur made a comment earlier saying he'd love you to come onto his his show earlier. I'll let you guys talk in the background. Guys, please get over and smash a like. Hit that link. And if you did enjoy Alan's take slopes, I'm sure you did, then just smash a subscribe. He's been around the Tottenham, or he's been around the community, the football community, but not the Tottenham. He's got his own channel that's just started, and let's go and help him get to hit early successes. On top of that, let me get the link out for Shelfside Spurs. Oh, Alan, sorry, mate, quickly. When's the next time you're streaming on your channel?
What, on mine?
Yeah.
I'm looking to get a show together for tonight, just reviewing the game. I will be doing a watch along for West Ham on Wednesday night, and again for Fulham. And then it will be like at the end of the transfer window, we'll be talking everything about our transfer window. I do urge people to go along and watch a video I did with the man, the myth, the legend, Brian de Gaulle, everything Tottenham. That was talking about everything to do with the transfer window, the start of the season, and also Daniel Levy. So as you can imagine, it's going to be quite good. It was a very good show. So check that video out.
Definitely watch that one.
It was like an episode of Songs of Praise.
A fucked up version.
Nick, what's happening on Shelfside Spurs? Welcome back after the summer hiatus. What's happening soon on your channel, my man?
Yeah, so we had obviously we were on last night on Tottenham on tour, Shelfside on tour. It was quite explosive actually last night. It went on for a couple of hours and got a bit heated with the Man U, Leeds, the Arsenal, and the rest of us were Spurs fans. So so that's every 2 weeks on a Sunday on Tottenham on tour. We're back on Thursday, which will be. We will go slightly later on Thursday. We're going to start about 9 o'clock and go through to the end of the transfer window, rather than starting at 7:30 and going on to the end of the transfer window. So we'll be there on Thursday. I think we're at 6:17 now. So I know Rez has done a crazy bet when we get to 1,000, and me and Rez are doing the watch along on We Are Tottenham TV on Wednesday. So I will try and push us to 1,000 then, and Rez is going to be screwed on Saturday night. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. So yeah,
amazing. Get yourselves over, guys. The link is up there as well. This one right here. Smash the like button. Smash their subscribe button, please. Everyone, show the love to everybody else in the community. Next up, we got Tottenham on tour. Danny or Brian, what's happening on your channel this week?
Yeah, there's bits and pieces. As I said, at the moment, I with our current play, I am trying to change the name of the channel to the Hotspur Globetrotters on tour because we're playing such breathtaking football. But yeah, there's a few bits coming up. Hopefully, there'll be a straight out of Conte coming out today. We might do a live later on. Most importantly, on Thursday, as we know, the transfer deadline day comes. I'll be at work and I finish at 7:30, which is midnight UK. Gonna have a little bit of dinner, and then, as I'm calling it, Daigle Unchained is going to be there because the window has closed.
Nice.
The window has closed. The embargoed version of what I've been wanting to say all summer could be coming out. The fingers are back in training.
The six-pack.
Yeah, well, no. I've got them back in training. They're here now. My aim is to get them to here by Thursday. I'm not saying anything right now because Paratici will probably pull out another Kulusevski and a Bentancur, so I'm not shooting my mouth off. We know what happened last time, Sean, when I was getting.
So I was going to say, if we don't sign another player, do you want to have a bet? If we don't, then you have to get, or if we do, then you have to get a six-pack tattooed on your
mate. Mate. No, I told you when you told me that. I actually love that idea, and I'm really toying with getting them there. I'm trying to get in that there, and then the two words there. No. So it'll be, and as always, training. But yeah, so around 8:30 Toronto time, which is 1:30 back home, whatever time around the world. Daigle and whoever wants to come on with me will be giving my verdict of the transfer window. And let's just say, if it ends like it does now, and Dan James or Adama Traore, it could be a very, very long, volatile stream where I'm going to have basically 3 months of anger ready to unleash. So, and then,
Brian, for what it's worth, my man, I think a lot of people in the Levy out community, I was saying this right at the start, I think that they're already out, dude. I did a Tottenham video the other day when I did walk with my dog, and I was just asking questions. I was like, should we look at the Chelsea transfer window? And should that be the barometer of whether Tottenham have had a good window or a bad window? Or should we remember the fact that they probably overspent on 8 players? Right, just a simple question. Bang, bang, bang. The comments. Like, Sean, you're a fool. You're deluded. Levy loves arseholes like you.
Yeah.
You're not a real fan.
Bang,
bang, bang, bang. Yeah, no, cheers, Bob. You're lucky I let you on.
Yeah.
Do you know what's about that kind of comment, right? Let me just put it there for you. The difference between Tottenham and Chelsea is, regardless of the price of the player, because we overpaid for Richarlison, right? But we wanted Richarlison, right? So we got a player we wanted. It's the fact that Chelsea have gone and are still going to buy players in the positions that they require. That's the difference. We haven't done that.
Yeah, but I think Chelsea have spent nearly 300 million, and I think they probably bought players worth 200 million.
Yeah, it doesn't matter regardless of the price.
It does matter.
No, because Richarlison's worth 40 million pounds, but we paid 60 for him, right?
Yeah, but if you do that with every player that you sign and it doesn't create success, then you're in a big problem. Look at Manchester United, look at Everton, look at Aston Villa. There's lots of teams.
Sean, Chelsea can do it. If we wanted to, we could do it as well. We choose not to do it. That's the difference.
Yeah, but because there's plenty of examples of teams that spend ridiculous amounts of money and it doesn't happen, it doesn't go anywhere. Look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa might go down this year. And last season,
£30 million for Koulibaly is a bad deal.
Well, we don't know.
But we don't know, Dan. We don't know about Richarlison. Everyone's saying we've overpaid for Richarlison. We don't know, man. If he scores a winner in the Champions League final, in the FA Cup final, gets us top 3 by scoring 15 goals and 5 assists, which I believe he will do. 60 million's nothing, man. We'll pay that back in one game.
I just wonder whether or not if Chelsea, like, overpaying for one player potentially is different to overpaying significantly for every player that you bought.
Agreed. I agree that. Yeah.
And I think it's difficult to find an ROI.
Then you have to succeed, don't you?
You have to succeed.
Look at United with Casemiro and Anthony. They go to shit. They've signed those 2 players. They're not worth that amount of money.
But look at Aston Villa, right? 6 months ago, everyone was saying Aston Villa are looking like they're doing business, and they were. They are doing business. Last summer, last January, and now they look like they couldn't go down. Everton spent 600 million. They're going to go down. They're going to go down this year because the teams that have come up look busy. Look like they're a team that plays with, apart from Bournemouth. Bournemouth look absolutely awful. But like Fulham and Forest look like they're going to have no problem staying up. And I think you could. If Everton get away with it again, it's because other teams like Leicester, and I predicted Leicester would struggle this year, didn't I, Bobby? On your tweet. I think that, anyway, long story short, spending lots of money doesn't equate to success. It's not how you spend it or how much you spend. It's whether you buy the right players for the thing you're trying to build, and time will tell. You can only make that judgment retrospectively. Anyway, last but by no means least, Bob Spur. Love you to pieces, my man. Thank you for coming on. What's happening on your channel? And talk about your NHS as well, because I know it's been an absolute barnstormer, hasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant, man. Even on the way down from work, I had Rob. Oh, I forgot his surname. Rob. Hold on. It's only fair because he's probably watching. Rob Belcher.
Oh, yeah, Rob Belcher. Rob's the top boy.
Yeah.
Rob is a top boy.
He reached out and said, look, big up. I heard you were in a coma. You're not going to believe this, but I was in a coma. I want to reach out. Hope everything's all right. Big up and all this, and great what you're doing for the end. We've now reached, with Rob's contribution, 5032 11 pence.
Amazing.
The 11 pence.
Are you still going to give that money to them for a night out? Because when it was like 1,500 quid, it was like, let's do a night out. Now it's like real money.
We're going to be talking to Lance. He's the CEO at Princess Alexandra Hospital. We were sitting there chatting. They've capped what they're putting in. They're not going to double it anymore because I think they're surprised by how much
they're panicking.
We've raised. They're going to cap it at 5. So whatever we raise plus 5 from them, it's going to be immense, man. We've got people donating beds for the hospital. There is people out there who are going to be donating their venue for a Christmas do. Anything to see some nurses smile. Oh, wow. Yeah. But we've done great, man, and it's going on and carrying on. We're supposed to officially have finished on the 15th, but for some reason it's jumped since then. We've raised over 2K since the 15th, man, and everyone's out there spreading the love and awareness. and and they're still coming in. It's been absolutely overwhelming, and
brilliant.
Like I say, the NHS is such an underrated establishment. They're at a beck and call. They risk their lives to save lives, and that can't be understated, man. So big up the NHS. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely
big up to you, mate. Big up to you for putting in the effort to show your appreciation. It's been it's been wonderful to witness and see everyone come behind you and to rally and to make a good go of it. So congratulations, mate. It's been
Saturday
thing to watch.
Saturday night, 10:45 in the Wall. Al, if you're free, come on, mate, and would love to fuck your life up, because that's what the show's about. That's what the show is about. By the way, Brian Daigle, first of all, when you're saying Daigle Unchained, I think of you being chained up, and I'd just go to Gulliver's Kingdom, you chained up.
Well, mate, what your warm fucking mind does is its own fucking thing. So,
Daigle Unchained, though, is a brilliant.
Trust me, mate, when you've been, when you want to unleash after 4 months, it hurts. I was in hospital.
Are you in hospital, Bob?
The chafing. Yeah,
what are you doing in hospital, Bob?
I was in a coma, bro.
Oh, was it right with you?
I didn't know.
Big up, man.
I never knew, man.
All right, guys, listen, thank you to everyone who's been a part of the show that's no longer. Thank you to Soren, thank you to Dermot and to Ellie for stopping by. I love you guys. Thank you, obviously, as well to Alan, mate, massive, brilliant first appearance, to Nick, to Brian, to Danny, and to Hojbjerg. Thank you to everyone in the comments. And also, I just want to say a quick shout out to Tinman007 for the super chat, to Moondog, to Tom Marcannon, to Moondog, to Absolute Bore, to Tinman again, to Moondog again, to Sebas Wolf. I'm not even sure if I called this one out. I'm so sorry, Sebas Wolf. I didn't remember seeing this one. I'm so sorry, my man. I'll make it up to you next time, I promise you.
That's shit, man.
That's awful, wasn't it? So bad. I didn't see it. So sorry, but I must have seen it because I starred it, but I didn't call it out. I do apologise, Sebas. To Faz Radfar, to Moondog, to Tom Marcannon again. And the last one that's just come in a minute ago from Wolvesy. Good to see you, man. I hope you're well. Wolvesy. Thank you so much, guys. It's been awesome. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as always, guys,